What's up, guys? ArtistVersion1 here, and welcome back to another edition of the Three-Way Dance Wrestling Podcast. And of course, you can't have the three-way dance unless there's three of us. So joining me, as always, is Shelby, aka Shubz.
Hey, yo.
Okay. And with me, as always, is the funky Cole Medina himself, Nick.
Nice tone lock reference. I like it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of before we recorded. I was like, I need to think of one more thing, and I was like, what 80s reference am I going to think of? You know?
And I can't even prepare for that. So it's just kind of I have to really think sometimes.
All right, so we got a packed show for you here tonight. Tonight we are going to talk about our favorite wrestling documentaries. We're going to count them down, countdown style or top 10 style, however you want to call it. Of course, we're going to play It Came From eBay. Shelby's down by 2. We're going to play the 3-word dance where Nick is dominating at that at the moment. Of course, we got a Sportster list of the week this week. We didn't have one last week because of the top 50. Vintage pick of the week, and, you know, maybe some other stuff in between. And, of course, your questions, of course. And there was a great question this week. I don't know if you guys peeped the questions this week, but there's a great question I can't wait to get to.
Wow.
You did,
and what?
That
is a good question. It is a good question if it's the same.
Yeah, you probably saw the one I saw then. Okay, so let's go and get right into it. And that is apparently the WWE was planning a documentary on the old group, The Nexus. But apparently they have stopped production on that and it is no longer in the works. So the question I have is, are you guys upset by that or could care less?
I could care less. They botched the Nexus right from the start. Nexus was kind of like the original Retribution. Because, we don't want contracts. We want to destroy who held us down. And then a week later, we signed contracts. And then from there, it was just, and then Cena, I don't think I should lose. Edge and Jericho, but John, I don't think I should lose.
I don't think Nexus was botched until, SummerSlam. That's when I was just like, okay, well, whatever.
But the contract angle was stupid. I didn't like that. They signed them so they would stop, but then they didn't.
Well, it was the same thing they did with, what was the group recently? Fucking Retribution.
That was Retribution. That's what I said. Nexus is the original Retribution.
That's what he just said. Where are you?
Sorry,
what drugs are you on tonight?
I fucking missed that. My bad.
Okay,
right.
But I'm all for documentary, especially if it's like really informative, especially since now Cena has admitted in interviews since then that I fucked up SummerSlam.
Yeah.
You know. All right, so that was a quick one. Which one's next here? Yeah, let's do this one. Let's do some news coming. No, you know what? Let's do this one for Shelby here. Apparently, a rematch is brewing over on NXT UK. And
yes, I heard about this.
I was about to say, I think Shelby's going to get a hard on when I say this if he doesn't know about it, but he already knows. And that is Walter versus Dragunov 2 is coming. I don't know when, but it is coming. No pun.
Probably at the next TakeOver UK, I would guess.
They canceled NXT TakeOver UK.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it was supposed to happen in April of last year, of course.
Yeah.
And then they moved it to April of this year. Then they moved it to June. Then they just said, fuck it.
Oh, that's a shame. Because that'd be a really great match to cap off a TakeOver show.
The rumor is that Walter may be moving to regular NXT. So it looks like I might be finally getting my wish, and we're going to get a new NXT UK champion.
Yeah, I was just dragging off. Sorry.
I don't know how big I am on Dragunov beating Walter, though. I do like the idea of the match, but I don't know. Interested to see it, that's for sure.
Better than somebody like Karrion Kross beating him.
Well, Karrion Kross shouldn't beat Walter anyway, so.
Good.
We can agree on that.
Agree on, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because today, I wouldn't say it got heated, but today
it was getting there.
Today we had a discussion on Karrion Kross, and I was just like, I don't know why. I thought I made it quite clear that I do not like Karrion Kross, and I just don't think Shelby understood that I just do not like this guy. And he was like, "Oh, because he's a heel, that's why you don't like him." I'm like, "No, fucking, he's shitty. No. He's shitty. He's not farty, sticky, smelly. He's shitty. Like,
Ew.
I thought I made that very obvious before, but okay, apparently not.
No, I thought you liked him, actually. I thought he was your favorite.
Don't I owe you money? You ever want to see that money again? All right, coming up next year, something wrestling related, but something not really wrestling related, and that is, as we know, CM Punk left the world of wrestling to join the UFC, and he lost his first bout to Mickey Gall, or Gale, however you say his name, and then in the first round, that is. And then his second UFC outing, he lost to Michael Jackson, not that one, but he lost to fighter Michael Jackson by going the distance in the third round, 30-26, I believe the score was. But it turns out that second fight has now been overturned. Apparently, Michael Jackson was on marijuana during that fight. Yeah.
The
So
stupidest reason to overturn a fight.
That loss has now been erased from CM Punk's record. But my question about it is like, okay, Michael Jackson was using marijuana during that fight. Why did it take him 2 years to figure it out?
Also, why does it matter? How does that make him a better, or how does that improve his fighting capability? I can tell you one thing: if I smoke weed, I don't want to fight. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it did the same thing.
I want to do.
Oh no, never mind. I was thinking about the Brock Lesnar fight, but that was for doping. That's my bad. But yeah, no, I don't get it. And you're right. Like, how does it take this long to figure that out?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get that either.
I mean, it's good that now Punk's UFC record is now 0-1 instead of 0-2.
Well, 0-1-1, right? Because
no, they rolled it. No, they rolled it a no contest, so it's 0-1-0.
No, it's 0-1.
No contest. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's not what I read. Okay, the story I read had it at 0-1-0.
Well, they were wrong, because that's not how win-loss records work.
Yeah,
you don't just not count no contests.
Hey, I'm just telling you how I read it, man. Okay?
Fair enough.
Next up here, we have some news coming out of SmackDown, and that is we have a couple debuts, one coming and two debuts. We have Toni Storm coming to the SmackDown brand. Excited?
Well, for the behind, yes. Otherwise, they're gonna botch it. So no.
Nick, I'm getting some static on your end.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh damn. Okay. Give me 1 second.
No problem. I'm just surprised that they actually put her on SmackDown and didn't just shoot her to Raw like they usually do a lot of the debuts lately.
Yeah, I don't know. Interested, I guess, is a word for it.
I'm just surprised that they didn't really give her anything in NXT. I mean, yeah, they gave her a couple like little feuds and everything, but they didn't give her an NXT title run. They didn't even give her an NXT tag team title run.
Maybe it's just one of those cases where, like, who else does she have to have a match with? You know what I mean? So they'll send her up to the main roster to create some fresh matchups, I guess.
Maybe.
She's been there long enough.
I'm just glad she's on SmackDown because, like, I really thought they were gonna shoot her over to Raw again. I'm just like, how many more fucking women do you need on Raw?
It'd be cool to see her win the SmackDown Women's title.
Yeah. And
Toni Storm versus Bianca?
Sure.
I don't know.
If she's going to win, that's all that matters.
I know, right?
I guess, yeah.
And we also had debuts as well. We had Nox and Shotzi, formerly known as Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox. They debuted as a tag team and defeated the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions and Tamina and Natalia, affectionately known to us as Team Titties. The thing is, Tegan Nox just came back last Tuesday and looked like to reignite her feud with Candice LeRae.
Yeah.
So why throw her on the main roster?
Because they need a new tag team to win the women's tag team titles.
Not that she's not deserving of a main roster run. It's just that, like, why have her come back, have those battery charged vignettes, have her come back, restart the feud that she ended with, just to throw her onto the main roster.
Exactly. And draw up her first name.
Although they were referring to her as Tegan Knox, even though the graphic said Knox, but they were referring to Shotzi Blackheart as just Shotzi.
Shotzi.
I don't know. What is it with Vince McMahon in 2-word names that he just doesn't like anymore?
I don't know.
It's too hard for him to say two, so it just makes better sense for it to be one.
I'm just waiting for the day when John Cena comes back and he's just like, there he is, Cole, that's John.
That's John. It'd probably be Cena, but which John?
It's John.
It's just John.
It's just John.
Change that whole meme around, and his name is John.
Oh, Lord.
And speaking of SmackDown, let's talk about some shit that pisses me off.
Okay.
That's
a long list, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, well, wrestling-wise.
Okay. That's still a long list, but
yeah, pretty much. But Bayley, as we found out, is injured, and she's going to be out for 9 months. So she is no longer going to be competing at Money in the Bank in her scheduled I Quit match against Bianca Belair. But WWE said, hey, no worries. We're going to replace her. So we all rejoiced. And we got Carmella as a replacement, which, okay, no problem there. But we're no longer getting it at Money in the Bank. We're going to get it on the first SmackDown in front of people in over 400 days.
Is that this coming SmackDown?
This coming SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then on top of all that, it's no longer an I Quit match. So WWE, I really don't think you know what replacement means.
Well, how do you make an I Quit match and not have any story behind it?
Okay, but they didn't say, hey, we're going to get a new match. They said, we're going to replace Bayley.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's
like, I think Carmella was a questionable pick to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay? I think if anything, if you're going to have the first pay-per-view, other than WrestleMania, in front of a live audience, then have an I Quit match with fucking Sasha Banks returning. That will pop the people.
That's what they've done.
And if they're not going to go that route, if they want to go the Carmella route, okay, fine. But at least keep the fucking... I know card's subject to change, whatever. But still, you advertise an I Quit match and you said, hey, we're going to replace the person who's injured. You didn't say, hey, fuckers, we're going to give you a whole new match that you didn't ask for.
Yeah.
Well, did you really want to see Bayley and fucking Bianca again in an I Quit match?
I was kind of looking forward to it.
Oh, fair enough.
With the way it was built
that
up.
would not have made me buy the pay-per-view. It's like Jim Cornette always says, if you don't have this...
Sorry, how's that?
Yeah, that's a little bit better, I think.
I had to switch to the phone. I'm sorry.
It's like Jim Cornette said, if you guys change the match, if you don't have this match, is anybody going to light the seats on fire? I don't think that many people are going to light the seats on fire. If they
I'm going to fucking light my seat on fire.
Why would you
that seems counterproductive.
Because if I light my seat on fire, then other people will be like, oh, he's lighting his seat on fire. Maybe we should light my seat on fire. And then it'll all start all over.
Okay, fair enough.
I just think it's... They should have just said, okay, Bayley's injured, so we're going to have a new match plan. But they said, no, we're going to replace Bayley. So yeah. I still expect a fucking I Quit match. If they wanted to move the match, that's fine. Fucking put it on fucking Main Event for all I give a fuck. I don't care. All right? But they said...
Could you imagine an I Quit match on Main Event?
No, right? Fucking have it wherever. I don't care. But they said, we're just going to replace Bayley. But they're just like, oh, we're going to give you Carmella... Plus, we're going to put it on free TV, which, hey, all right, free TV, fucking, hey, man. But, hey, that I Quit shit, I'm like, hey, what about that I Quit thing? WWE's like, what I Quit? I'm like, the I Quit match that was going to happen. What I Quit match?
It would have been funnier if they actually told you that while you're in the Thunderdome. And you're like, but wait, thank you for enjoying the WWE Thunderdome.
And the last bit of news coming out, well, I wouldn't say coming out of SmackDown, but Sonya Deville announced on Twitter that one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, I should say, Natalya, has been inserted into the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, as well as Liv Morgan, who is replacing Carmella now. So that leaves one spot open. And the rumor is, that Sonya Deville herself may end up taking the last spot. So thoughts on that?
That would mean Sonya wins.
Would it?
Well, I would think, because if she takes the last spot,
I don't think she's winning.
Okay, but if Sonya's in, let's say it is Sonya, okay, who else wins? They're sure as hell not going to go with Asuka again.
No,
they're not going to go Natalya. Natalya's like Natalya's the Kofi Kingston of these matches now. Okay.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan. Yeah, Zelina Vega will probably be a close second.
Yeah.
All right, and who else is in on Raw?
Isn't Alexa Bliss in it?
Alexa Bliss is in it, but she's doing that thing now with Eva Marie, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna fuck her.
Yep.
You know, and Nikki Cross is in it. No, I'm not calling her that other name. You know, so I mean, Nikki Cross would be a distant third, I think. So I mean, if Sonya Deville's in, and again, using the same logic, first pay-per-view in front of a live crowd other than WrestleMania, I mean, Sasha Banks comes back, takes a spot.
Yeah.
You know?
Or Toni Storm.
Yeah, but
put Toni Storm in there and give her the briefcase. How much of a...
They literally just started airing the vignettes for her, though.
I don't see that because they just started the vignettes.
Yeah.
If she made her debut on the main roster, I guess not including Royal Rumbles or whatever else, at Money in the Bank, and won it, how do you book a person better than giving them that win and then having them cash in on Bianca at SummerSlam?
Let me answer that with a question. Ask Gail Kim that.
I'm also gonna throw a name in, Becky Lynch.
I don't think she's ready yet.
Yes, she is.
Is she?
From what I've read, yes.
My point to the Gail Kim question was, like, Gail Kim's first match on the main roster was her winning the women's championship, and we saw how well that worked out for her.
Oh, TNA.
Twice.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so we actually have some AEW news. The night last week when our podcast debuted, or latest episode, I should say. Oh my God, I have a story with this. Tommy End, FKA Aleister Black, debuted in AEW. But I gotta tell, I mainly included this on here for the fucking story. So I'm reading the AEW results, and it says on there, the guy who's writing these results says Aleister Black. Everything he's writing, Aleister Black. I was like, wow, that's fucking weird. I was like, well, there was that mishap with his, no compete. So maybe they fucked up with his name. Maybe he got to keep the Aleister Black name, but why would he want to keep the Aleister Black name? That's fucking weird, So then I click out of the results and I see Tommy End has debuted in AEW. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I clicked that article. Inside the article, they're like, Malachi Black has debuted. I'm like, what the fuck? What is shooting out of my nose there? I'm like, what name is fucking real?
Even Excalibur says, I worked with that man, Tommy End, 15 years ago, but that is not Tommy End. Pause. JR says, but who is it? That is Malachi Black. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
See, and this goes back to a story that I think we had 2 episodes ago with the Iconics, where they trademarked the name The Inspiration, where I'm just like, okay, you see, this is a new name, Malachi Black. He's still banking off that WWE fame, So I don't know. I just mainly wanted to include it just because blood shot out of my nose reading those 3 different names, and I'm just like, what the fuck one is it?
It's a good thing you weren't watching the show while you were doing that, then, because you would have just
because at least watching
had
the
a
show
fucking aneurysm.
But at least watching the show would have made sense. Oh, wrestling that man Tommy N, but he's not Tommy N. That's Malachi Black. That would have made sense. But reading the results, whoever wrote these fucking results on WrestlingHeadlines.com, oh, Aleister Black, Aleister Black, Aleister Black, Aleister Black. And then I read another article, Tommy N. And inside that article, it's like Malachi Black. I'm like, Jesus Christ, pick a fucking name. All right. And I think that, yep. And our last bit of news here comes from a somber note. Seems like, damn, we've had a lot of wrestling deaths this year. We lost another real one, guys. We lost Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff yesterday. We knew for a while that he was in bad shape, but I think it just came out of nowhere, you know? So, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, he was one of the we have a question on Paul Orndorff later, so I probably won't go too much into it, but Paul Orndorff was just one of those old school guys that, like, I don't know why, I just always really connected to. There's one of them arm bar type of guys that, like, I kind of like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He had a hell of a physique. Like, just looked like a beast.
Hey, man, when you have a physique like that and you're pimping out product that ain't even fucking yours, that's how good you are.
That's how good you were. You're pimping product that ain't even yours.
They're like, hey, man, we have this Hulkamania set for kids. Who should we get to get it? Should we get Hulk Hogan? Fuck no, get Orndorff. Okay.
Why did you make it sound like Cornette said that?
Oh, did I?
He wasn't working.
I thought it sounded more like Iron Cheek.
Oh, that makes me sad. Cheek's tweet was so sad too. Like,
Jesus Christ, does he know how to, like, lift up and down the cap lock button on his phone?
I'm pretty sure
tweet he does in capital letters.
I'm pretty sure. Because he always wants to be heard.
Yeah, but like it doesn't make it any louder.
Well, you obviously read it in his voice though, and you have to kind of yell.
You definitely do.
It there somewhere. Although you can't really throw it in. I am so sad. Like I just picture Sheik with his pipe trying to tweak that and just be like, caps lock. And then he screwed it up, so he had to make sure it was stuck and then kept going. Or maybe he does it from a computer. That way he wouldn't have to like do anything. It's just
he does everything from a computer, and his caps lock button is just constantly on.
Permanently enabled.
He just tapes down his fucking caps lock button.
That should do. Hot. There's no room for the small letters.
All right.
Paul Orndorff.
Was the news this week there. So rest in peace, Paul Orndorff there. Mm-hmm. So let's get to one of our favorite games here, and that is It Came From eBay, which is where I find weird, kooky wrestling-related items on eBay and tell Nick and Shelby about them, and they try and figure out the price on them here. So right now the score is currently 9-7. Yeah, 9-7. And so the first one I'm going to do here, one I've been waiting on for a while here, and that is a WWE Real SmackDown script.
Oh.
It's dated August 2nd, 2002, but it's actually from the August 8th episode, which, just real quick, features John Cena defeating Kurt Angle via disqualification, Mark Henry defeating Devon Dudley, Rikishi defeating Batista in 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Fun fact. The Hurricane and Shannon Moore defeating Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo. Edge, Rey Mysterio. What was that?
Oh, they wouldn't have been 3 count.
No. This is SmackDown, not WCW.
Okay, but they own WCW at that point. So
yeah, but 3 count never showed up in WWE.
I know, but I can dream.
Okay. Edge, Rey Mysterio, and John Cena defeated Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, and Eddie Guerrero. Jamie Noble and Nydia defeated Billy Kidman and Tori Wilson. And in the main event, Brock Lesnar defeated Hulk Hogan.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the actual script from that show. So, Nick, how much is the August 2nd, 2002 episode of SmackDown script going for on eBay?
Let's say an even $200.
Even $200. All right. Shelby, how much is this script going for on eBay?
$150.
$150. All right, Shelby, you get that one because believe it or not, it's only going for $68.65.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. I'm running out of stuff on the old ones before I get to the new ones here. Let's go. Which one do I want to do here? All right, let's do this one. This one's kind of kooky. All right. This is a WCW Sting Nash Goldberg toothbrush. Now, I actually had these as a kid. Wait.
Okay.
I actually had these as a kid, and what they are, it's like the handle of the toothbrush. It's not like a picture of fucking Sting on the toothbrush handle. The handle is like Sting. I had the Sting and Nash ones. I don't know about the Goldberg one. But I know I had Sting and Nash, and they were like kid-sized toothbrushes and shit. I actually had these as a kid. And
that's amazing.
They're still in the box, and you get all 3 toothbrushes, plus you get the cup, a WCW branded cup. So, Shelby, how much are these toothbrushes and cup going for on eBay?
$25.
$25. Nick, how much are they going for on eBay?
So it's Sting, Goldberg, and Nash?
Yep.
Oh. 40.
Oh, dang. That bell right there does not mean the end of the 3-way dance like it usually does. It means one of you have hit it right on the nose.
Oh.
And it means whoever bid $40 has got it. Nick, right on the nose, $40.
That's the first time, isn't it?
No, you keep saying that every time
this almost
happens. You got it once on the nose. You got an ass blaster right on the nose.
Oh, did I? Oh, shit.
Might have been Big Show boots.
No, it was the Ric Flair boot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not signed by Tully. See, when something's signed by Tully Blanchard, it's very hard to tell.
But speaking of ass blaster, you two are tied, so the winner of this round will come down to the ass blaster. Okay, and you know what? I actually have one of these, so like when I saw it for this price on eBay, my jaw hit the fucking ground. So I'm gonna do this one. This is a 1997, so it's like right between that new generation and Attitude era. So it's a 1997 WWF trivia game from Cardinal Games, and it is sealed. This features the superstars like Duke the Dumpster Droese, Aldo Montoya, Ahmed Johnson, Farouk, few others, to name a few. So, Nick, how much is the 1997 WWF trivia game, sealed in a 10 box, by the way, going for on eBay?
500.
Shelby, how much is it going for on eBay?
$750.
Shelby, you get it because it is going for $5,000.
That's stupid. Disgusting. Jesus Christ.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I just wish mine was. I kind of want to just like wrap mine in cellophane and be like, it's still sealed.
Dude.
Hey, if you got $2,000 for it, that'd be fucking dope.
I know, right? Shit.
And like zip plate or like vacuum seal it.
I know, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Pretend it's new. And then like nobody's gonna open it to know that the cards are played with.
I know. Right? Plus the one I have, I swear, there's like I know shit. There was the one time that I remember asking a buddy questions from that game. I swear there was no shit. There had to be at least 10 questions from the 1995 King of the Ring.
Oh my!
Wow.
That's
All right, so now we're going to move on to our new game that we have here, and that is the 3-word dance, where I name 3 random words, and they relate to a wrestler in a way, and it's Nick and Shelby's job to figure out which wrestler they relate to. Normally, I have Nick or Shelby pick one here, but you know what? I'm feeling myself tonight. I'm going to pick some. So, the first one I'm going to pick here, and we're going to do 3 of them. It's a free-for-all. We don't take turns here, so it's just whoever can figure it out. We'll start with what I think is an easy one here, and we'll go here. Your 3 words are bowling, redneck, snapmare.
Jimmy Yang?
No.
Hillbilly Jim?
No.
Terry Funk?
No.
Dory Funk?
No.
Yeah.
Nick, Shelby, if you didn't want to try.
I'm not very good at these, in case you haven't noticed.
Bowling, redneck, snapmare. See, I thought snapmare would be giving it away.
Bowling?
Once I explain it, it'll be like, son of a bitch.
Okay, nothing, man. I don't...
Hint?
Hint. Trying to think of a hint that would help, but also not give it away. Bowling, redneck, snapmare. Your hint. Suplex.
Brock Lesnar.
What the fuck?
I mean, he is kind of a redneck.
Okay.
He does suplex people. Oof.
No contest or...
Festus.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Festus.
Wow! Shelby, no.
Oh, God damn it.
All right, that's a no contest. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what it was. Bowling, redneck, snap. Mr. Perfect.
Oh, damn.
Bowling, because in his vignettes, he bowls strikes.
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
look.
okay.
Redneck, he was part of the West Texas Rednecks in WCW. And
Oh.
Snapmare, he does that reverse Snapmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Let's find an easier one for you guys here. Okay, here's an easier one for you. Now, this one could just be a race to who says it first. Your 3 words are rainbow, sauce, hat.
What?
JR?
Yes!
Oh my God. I don't get the rainbow, though.
Skittles!
Skittles.
Rainbow, because Jim Ross would do the Skittles ad, sauce,
Yeah.
barbecue sauce, and of course the hat for his famous cowboy hat.
Fuck, I got my first
Somebody needs to figure out how Tony Khan can get Skittles as a sponsor of AEW, just so we can get AEW Dynamite. Tonight is sponsored by Fruity Delicious. Fruity Skittles.
Delicious fruity Skittles.
All right. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm gonna do this one here. I'm impressed with that one. Shelby got that one. That was good.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Your third 3-word dance here. 7. No, not
7?
Dustin Rhodes before either of you said.
But you did say 7.
I did say 7. The number 7.
Okay. Yep.
70s. Flex.
Mike Awesome.
No, but I see your train of thought.
Seven 70s flex. Johnny B. Bad?
The fuck?
I'm guessing it's a no.
I'm just trying to figure out your line of thought with that one.
I don't. I just kind of threw a name.
7 70s flex.
And it's not Dustin Rhodes.
You need a clue?
Yeah, let's take a clue.
Survivor. Oh, and by the way, your clue for Mr. Perfect, by the way, suplex, perfect flex, by the way.
Yeah.
Survivor.
7 70s flex.
Lex Luger.
Nope.
Survivor.
I see your line of thought, but no.
Jesse Goddard's.
The hell?
No, he was on Big Brother. I feel stupid.
I got 2 more guesses at least.
Okay.
Paul Orndorff?
No.
No. Jesse Ventura?
No.
No.
Billy Graham.
No. I get your line of thought on that one, though. There's no contest.
Bruno Sammartino?
Nope.
No.
No contest getting this one, or?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
7 70s flex. The Rock.
Oh, Flex Cavana.
Flex Cavana was his original name. He guest starred on that 70s show for one episode, and 7 is the name of his production company, $7. And Survivor, he debuted at Survivor Series and was the sole survivor of his team. Now, I know we usually do 3 of these, and, lately I've been spending time writing down a lot of these, but I wrote down one that is so fucking bonkers insane that I know whenever we get to it, you'll never get it, so I'm just going to do it right now. So,
okay.
For shiggles, this is not going to count towards the score or anything, but here we go. 3 words. Water, laugh, fictional. Water, laugh, fictional.
Bray Wyatt.
Nope. I don't see your logic with that one. Shelby, I'm going to give you one guess, and then I'm going to call it.
Oh. Triple H.
Nope.
Yeah.
Captain Insano.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that.
That's why I was just like, let me just go ahead and knock that out of the way now.
One boy laughing fictional. I get it.
Yeah. That's why I was like, that's so bonkers fucking insane. Let me just go ahead and do that one right now. I don't know what I was thinking when I was writing that one down.
Yeah, the laugh.
Yeah. So at least you got the clues though. All right, now we're going to talk about our favorite wrestling-related documentaries, but before we do that, we got to talk about one of our sponsors, and one of our sponsors being repsports.com, where they carry a lot of energy-raising products, especially their pre-workout, their Broken Arrow, that gets you into the gym and gets you motivated, but it's not the powder that gets you motivated, it's you that gets you motivated. But during that pre-workout, you may start dragging a little bit. So, of course, you can fuel up with some Raise energy drink. It comes in liquid and powder form, and it has 11 different flavors. And if you look in the description of this podcast here, you can get yourself a free 4-pack of Raise energy drinks, the liquid kind, in the can. Well, I hope it's in a can. If you just got a box full of liquid, that'd be weird. But you'll get Sour Gummy Worm, Voodoo, Apollo, And you'll get Shelby's favorite flavor,
Galaxy Burst.
Galaxy Burst, that's right. You'll get all 4 flavors. All you got to do is cover shipping. And if you're during that workout, when you're banging and clanging and you're ripping out the back jack and everything, working on the 24-inch pythons and everything, working on that.
Drinking your Galaxy Burst.
Drinking your Galaxy Burst, using your Paul Orndorff endorsed Hulk Hogan Hulkamania set. If you need to come down a little bit, they also carry Hypersleep, which is a great powder that you can mix in and put you down for a nice, good night's sleep. They also have T-shirts, hats, and decals and stickers and all that. All you got to do is go over to repsports.com and use my checkout code ARTIST, and it'll save you 15% on your entire purchase. Not just some, all of it. So head on over there right now, pick up Shelby's favorite flavor,
Galaxy Burst,
and save 15%. Or pick up any of the other products that repsports.com carries. All right, so let's get into our top 10 favorite wrestling documentaries here. Now, these are not just strictly WWE related. They're not just strictly the DVDs. We have included some other ones here and everything, and I've been thinking about it recently, and you know what? Nick never gets to go first. So, Nick, you're going to kick it off here with your number 10.
All right, so I actually deliberated over this a lot as to whether to even put this on here or make it an audible mention, but I thought, you know what? I am going to put it on there because at the time it was a damn good documentary, and that's Hard Knocks, the Chris Benoit story.
Really?
Yep.
I always thought that was like really short.
No, there's a lot to it, actually. It was actually one of the first ones I ever watched.
Yeah, but there was so much more they could have talked about, and I mean, it's better than Rey Mysterio 619. I'll give them that.
Didn't watch that one.
Don't. Here, let me sum up Rey Mysterio 619 for you. Rey Mysterio was born. He started wrestling. He went to ECW. WCW happened. Hey, he's here in WWE. There you go.
What year was it released?
619, I think, came out like 2 years after his debut.
Oh, okay.
You know. But that's pretty much how they did WCW. They were like, yeah, he was in WCW. That happened. Anyway, you know. Is that all you have to say about Hard Knocks?
Well, of course, Hard Knocks was also aired in place of new footage on the night of the incident that took the lives.
Well, the matches weren't they? Not the actual documentary.
No, they were showing. Well, okay, not per se, not the documentary.
Yeah,
that's
but the
right,
matches. They were showing the matches from the doc.
And
I have that one too.
And the lead up to the matches. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I mean, I can't really.
Me personally, I just think it's a little on the short side. I really like the document, like some of the WWE released documentaries to be on the long side, and I have some of those on here. But that one personally, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's an okay watch, but I just think it could have been longer, in my opinion. That's just me, though. To each their own. All right, Shelby, what do you got for number 10?
Number 10 is the spectacular history of the AWA. I watched this one really recently, and I've been digging the territories lately, and there's a couple territory ones on here, but just learning a lot about Vern and how the AWA operated, and basically if Hulk Hogan didn't leave, then we might be watching the AWA right now and not the WWF or E. I think that would have been kind of a different world and very interesting.
I disagree, though. I think that even if Hogan would have stayed in AWA, it would have been different because they weren't putting the belt on Hogan.
I think they would have eventually, though. I do. I think if they could have figured out the whole Japan deal and made something solid, I think then that Vern probably would have put the belt on Hulk because he would have trusted him a little bit more.
But even if he would have put the belt on Hogan, there would have been no Hulkamania, though.
There was already Hulkamania. Hulk Hogan was using Hulkamania in the AWA.
Okay. I disagree.
It would have been different, and I mean, I say that we might not be watching WWE. AWA might have lasted longer. Hell, they might have still been going today. Who knows? But I mean, I think it would have been interesting to see if that would have changed. I mean, they also had they had the Rockers, they had the Road Warriors. The Road Warriors were huge in the AWA, right? Like they did have some stars. It's just, and I think Vern too was pretty bad at paying people in the end. I mean, he didn't pay Lawler for
Yeah.
How long after he won the world title and was just like, well, I'm just going to keep the world title then. And Vern just had to make a new one.
You're like, this is mine now, fucker.
Yeah. Well, you don't pay the man. Like, if I left a job and they didn't pay me, I'd be taking my van. I don't care.
All right. My number 10 is probably one that you two probably wouldn't expect from me, but it's only like 40 minutes long, even though I just bitched about how short Hard Knocks is. But this one, once I say it, you'll understand. It's Pro Wrestling Secrets Exposed.
Ooh.
This one I've not heard of.
It's a stunt granny. You never heard of that?
I don't think so.
It was a special that aired on NBC like at the height of the Attitude Era, and it's narrated by Salem the Cat. Well, not the actual fucking cat, but the guy who plays Salem the Cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Okay.
Nick Bakay. That'd be even weirder though if it was just Salem the Cat. Like, this is the secrets of pro wrestling, you know. But like, it's just fucking bonkers, man. It's just like they just go through like old cliches that didn't even happen at the time. Like, oh, this is why wrestlers tear up a kid's autograph book. Like, who the fuck carries an autograph book to a wrestling show in 2001? You know,
I didn't even know autograph books were a thing.
Yeah, you know, like, and this is why the heel wrestler knocks over grandma, and it's like, it's a stunt granny. You know, it's fucking great. It's on YouTube. I highly suggest watching it just for the entertainment value alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. Nick?
Sorry?
It's your turn, Nick. We're live now.
Yeah, sorry. All
right.
Do y'all get that reference when I say that, by the way?
Is that Bill O'Reilly?
No, we're live, pal. Is when remember when Sid was giving a promo and he's just like, tonight when I did. I'm sorry. Can we go again? Jim Ross like, we're live, pal, and he's like, oh
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, my number 9 is It's Good to Be a King Sometimes, the Jerry the King Lawler documentary.
Oh, that one's probably pretty good. That's one I haven't seen.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
That was one that like I went out and bought on release day, and I was just like, hell yeah. But again, I mean, it had good link to it, but I just felt like, man, they left out a lot of shit.
Did they have like matches from the CWA and stuff in it?
As long as I fucking watched it, I couldn't tell you.
Oh man, that'd be really cool if they went back into old Memphis shit.
Because I'm pretty sure the only shit that I really probably remember from that documentary is the shit with Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
You know. But I still remember liking it overall. I felt like they were leaving shit out. It's like I'm pretty sure it's on Nick's list somewhere, but like the Macho Man story one they released, I was like, oh god, this was horrendous.
Oh, you're gonna be surprised.
Oh really? It's not on there? Oh, okay. All right, Shelby, you're number 9.
Dark Side, Cocaine and Cowboy Boots, the Herb Abrams story. I fucking loved how crazy this guy was and the whole idea that he had behind fucking starting up his wrestling promotion. It was phenomenal. The whole cocaine part of it. It's just crazy, man. I love the everybody talks about how great the Chris Benoit ones are, or the Brian Pillman ones are. I like the ones that are just really interesting stories, and I like this one. It was good.
Fair enough.
This one for me was like, well, actually, it would be an honorable mention if anything. I really like this one, and the Gino Hernandez episode I really liked as well.
Yeah.
That's one I haven't watched because I didn't really know that much about it.
I don't think I've watched that one either, to be honest with you.
No. Coming in at number 9, if anybody knows me, this should be no surprise that this is even on my list, but You Cannot Kill David Arquette.
Not surprised.
Exactly. But You Cannot Kill David Arquette is about David Arquette's return to pro wrestling as he felt that he had something to prove. You know, like people have ridiculed him for years for something that he didn't even want to do, which was winning the WCW World title. So he actually went out and got trained. He was never really professionally trained. So this is his journey. This was his journey to actually get trained. And he goes to like different trainers. He goes to Mexico and gets trained, which is probably the best part of the fucking movie when he goes to Mexico. That part is like, oh God, that's like the best part of the movie. And it's just a really great journey through David Arquette. You get to see, I mean, he starts off in like some little backyard fucking piece of shit fed, or like they know shit, they stiff him and shit like that, and he takes it like a fucking champ. Ends up in Mexico, does some lucha shit, good lucha things, as Kalisto would say. And it's phenomenal. I think like even if I wasn't a huge David Arquette mark and I watched this movie, I would have dug it. You know,
Nice.
but
how old is he now?
I think he's like in his 50s.
I was gonna say he's gotta be like close at least.
Yeah. And the last time I checked, this was on Hulu. I don't know if it's still there, but if it's still on Hulu, I highly suggest going to check this out because this was amazing. I really liked it.
Mm.
And if you two haven't watched it, you two should be ashamed of yourselves.
Sorry.
I'm not sorry.
Corner Gas I can forgive, but I can't forgive this one.
Oof.
No, you know what? No, I can't forgive Corner Gas. No, never mind. I changed it. Like that.
I think I have seen an episode of Corner Gas. To be
Why
fair.
haven't you seen all of them though?
Because.
Whatever. We're not doing this right now.
Yeah.
Nick, you're number 8.
My number 8 is McMahon from 2006.
That's another one I haven't seen, but I was a little afraid to be like just WWE praising him.
You know, when I first thought they were coming out, I thought that's what it was going to be too. I thought it was just going to be like, oh, well, Vince bought WWE from his father and this year, and he bought it for this much. And you know, I thought it was just going to be like all business.
Yep.
You know, but it actually wasn't bad. It was actually pretty entertaining.
Yep. For the entertainment value, yeah, for the surprising entertainment value that it brings, that's why I have it on there. Because like I can remember thinking, I don't know about this. It's just gonna be, oh, look how great Vince McMahon is, and then yeah, it's kind of that, but it's still entertaining nonetheless. And there's some good like bonus stuff on that DVD set.
Mm-hmm. Plus, they even mentioned the proposed incest storylines he wanted to do with Stephanie and Shane.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yep.
Key guy.
Yeah. Amazing! Just an incredibly fucking crazy businessman. Dana White called him an animal.
I got 2 hours of sleep, pal.
Yeah, no shit.
I got 2 hours of sleep, pal. So what do you want to do this week? Fuck my daughter. What?
Vince, you need to go back to bed.
Bed? What is that? That's like that burrito thing you talk about. What the hell?
Oh, Lord.
Sneeze on me, pal.
He hates sneezing. It's something he can't control.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Shelby, you're number 8.
Rise and Fall of ECW. I don't really have a whole lot else to say about this because it has been a long time since I watched it, but I remember liking it. So I put it at number 8. It was a great documentary as far as I remember. And it was one of the first, like...
Something tells me that you had all the spots filled in except for number 8 and you just needed one to put here.
Pretty much.
I read the Rise and Fall of ECW.
Did you?
I didn't watch it. I read it.
You never watched it?
No.
The first time I got it, it was from a friend, and he wasn't even like a wrestling fan. He let me borrow it, and I watched it, and then I think I gave it back to him, and years later, he's like, do you just want this? I'm like, sure. So I do own it. I just haven't watched it in a long fucking time.
It's on my list somewhere, but I'll just tell you right now, you're missing out. I'll talk more about it later. My number 8 might come as a surprise to old Shubzy here, and that is The Triumph and Tragedy of World Class Championship Wrestling.
Ah.
This was one of those ones that like I did not think I would sit down and be entertained by. I mean, it's basically a backdoor Von Erich story too.
Well, it's a story about a lot of fucking sadness.
Yeah, hence why it's called tragedy. It should just be called the tragedy of World Class Championship Wrestling. There's not a lot of triumph in it.
Halfway through, it just becomes, and this Von Erich died, and this Von Erich died, and this Von Erich died, and this Von Erich committed suicide.
Like the first 5 minutes is just like, man, World Class Championship Wrestling was fun. Then the rest of it is just like, everybody died.
Yeah.
It's
crazy that like any of the Von Erichs still wrestle.
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing, but actually, like, the stories that they tell in here are just amazing. You get to learn how pretty much every Von Erich died. I mean, I think, if I remember correctly, I think I learned more about the Von Erichs from this DVD than I did the Dark Side of the Ring episode.
Oh, wow. Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is like a 2-hour thing on just the Von Erichs, right?
Yeah, and like I said, they kind of mentioned World Class and how the impact it had on Texas and such like that too. But like I said, they could have basically just called this, the Von Erich story DVD, and it would have worked the same. But
they talked about Waldo too, and they went over like how he became, a booker and a promoter and stuff too, right? So they did do that, but it was a lot of just how the Von Erichs fucking died and how depressing that is,
But yeah, it was just one of those ones that like I never thought I'd be entertained by. I think I bought it for like $3 at Walmart one time, so I was like, all right, at least I'll give it a watch, and was thoroughly entertained by it. So,
that is a great example of how fame can just ruin you, just absolutely destroy you. But anyways, on a lighter note, the next one.
Well, considering what my number 7 is, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, same.
But go ahead.
My number 7 is Bret Hart, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. The first time he worked with the company following Montreal.
That's a good one. That would probably be an honorable mention on mine. That's not on my list, but that's a good one.
It's one of it's the documentary itself, but the rewatchability factor. I've watched it a few times actually to try and make sure I get all the facts from it, or to get all to make sure I don't miss anything. But it's also because I find there's a lot of at least interviews and things where Bret seems bitter towards 90% of the business in general. But he's not really, there's no, at least that I can recall it. It's been a while since I've watched the documentary itself, but I feel like he just doesn't, I feel like he's willing to not complain and to not be bitchy and just show his disdain in that documentary. I feel like he's more like, okay, let's try and figure this out and I'll do what I need to do here. And so there's not really any sort of oh, well, if I hadn't have done this or or I hate Vince or it's what you wouldn't expect to have happened at that time, given the history. Yes, it took another, 4 years for him to get back to Raw?
I think so, yeah.
5. It might have been 5 because that came out ahead of his Hall of Fame induction, which was in 2005, sorry. 6.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it was 2006.
It was 6, because it was Bret, Dusty, and Eddie that went in that year.
Yeah, because I was just amazed when he finally came back and did that DVD. They're like, WWE's releasing a Bret Hart DVD. I was like, man, ain't that a kick in the head?
Oh. Man.
All right, Shelby, you're number 7.
Number 7, Dark Side, the Brawl for All. Just Vince Russo at his fucking stupidest, man. What a dumb concept that was, but entertaining and how they thought that they could make it a shoot work or a work shoot or however you want to put it. Jim Cornette going off on Vince Russo and Vince Russo going off on Jim Cornette is just fucking classic shit. It was a good episode.
Well, I think we discussed the Brawl for All. Maybe we should do a whole episode on the Brawl for All one time, but I don't know. Some of them fucking fights are brutal. Brutal to sit through. I don't think I could.
I haven't seen too many of these actual fights. I do want to go back and watch them.
From what I saw, there's only really 2 good ones. There's Hawk and I think Draws was a really good one. And I can't remember the other one. That tells you how good it was.
Yeah. The only one I know.
I remember seeing Hawk and Draws was like, holy shit, this one of those, like, if all the fights in the Brawl for All were like this, they probably could have had something. You know?
The problem is nobody really believed it, though, because everything else they're watching is a fucking work. So
I remember watching it live as a kid, and I'm just like, this is fucking boring.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you're not going there to watch fucking Ultimate Fighting, and these aren't trained Ultimate Fighters. I mean, yes, they had Ken Shamrock.
Maybe you think here's an idea that nobody really, just a quick thought here. Do you think the Brawl for All would have been better if they still kept the gloves and everything like that, but did it in the Lions Den?
Yes.
You think so?
I've wondered that before, if it would have been better in the Lions Den, because at least then you're drawing the line even further. You're saying, okay, this is a fight. And you tried to portray the Lions Den match as well. Like, I think if they had yeah.
The only problem with that is still a lot of these guys were not trained to fight, right? So they don't know how to take the hits. So, I mean, you have to almost do like they did with the World Bodybuilding Federation or whatever the fuck it was, where you go out and you get like fucking, I don't know, 10 or 20 fucking actual fighters to fight Ken Shamrock and fucking Dan Severn, put them in the tournament, and then you would have had something decent. But like, I would think that the money that it would take to put that on probably wouldn't be worth it in the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't, the way that they were going to do it, the way that they wanted to do it, it was never going to work. Dr. Death was never going to get over unless he did manage to actually knock people out. But with Ken Shamrock and fucking Dan Severn in the fucking tournament, like, did you actually think that, not to fucking disparage Dr. Death at all, but did you think that if it came down to Shamrock and Dr. Death, or fucking Dan Severn and Dr. Death, that Dr. Death was actually going to beat them? I don't know.
JR did.
I mean, he was a tough son of a bitch, that's for sure.
Yeah. Shelby's been using Dark Side of the Ring episodes as separate entries, but for my number 7, I just use Dark Side of the Ring as one whole entity, the whole series, because a lot of them are so good. So I guess I had to cop it out, because there's a lot of great episodes. Yes, there are some I haven't seen, like the Gino Hernandez that we mentioned earlier, plus some of the ones from the newer season. I've yet to watch, like Dynamite Kid. I've yet to, because some of them I'm just like, maybe some of them are going to be like World Class Championship Wrestling. I'm like, I have no interest in that. But if I watch them, maybe they'll be really good, like Dynamite Kid. I know of Dynamite Kid. I know he had a very tragic ending to his career, but like, to me, I just don't want to sit there and watch an hour documentary on him. But for all I know, maybe it's really good. I don't know. But overall, I think Dark Side of the Ring is a tremendous series. I mean, like Shelby said, we praise the ones like Chris Benoit and the Owen Hart episode, which are very good, but also the Grizzly Smith episode, while very dark, was very well produced episode, and
very also, informative too.
Informative, I guess, would be a better word. Like also the Brawl for All that we just mentioned, and the Montreal Screwjob. Even though that topic's been talked to death, that was still a very good episode.
The David Schultz episode was good too.
Oh yeah, the David Schultz one, Dr. D, the slap her.
That would be an honorable mention on mine.
And they even like talked to Stossel in that one, which I was pleasantly surprised by, because like watching the intro, I'm like, oh, I wonder if they actually interviewed Stossel. And then Stossel comes up, I'm like, yes.
Was Stossel the reporter, or was Stossel the guy?
John Stossel was who got slapped. He was the one who said,
okay, yeah, he was the reporter,
fake. And Schultz was like, I'm sorry, you think that's fake? And then,
that's when Schultz smacked him. Does that feel fake?
For the longest time, until that documentary came out, I'd seen that clip, and I had no idea what the fuck it was from. And then I saw that episode of Dark Side, and I'm like, that's what the fucking clip's from? Oh my god. And I couldn't believe that it was a WWF show. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, it wrecked Schultz.
You think that's fake?
Yeah.
How's that? Is that fake?
That's fucking incredible, though.
So, so my number 7 is just Dark Side of the Ring as a whole. I just think it's a phenomenal series. Hopefully they do more. Hopefully season 3 is not the last. I could watch it. Hopefully they do more with more topics. The New Jack episode, that's another great one. I love the New Jack episode. All right, so that's my number 7.
My number 6 is Cheating Death, Stealing Life, the Eddie Guerrero story from 2000.
Horrible documentary.
What?
2004. 2004.
Horrible?
Oh God, I think so. Again, it's basically like the fucking 619. It's basically like, okay, Eddie learned to wrestle, and he went to ECW, and yeah, he went to WCW, and he hated it, but now he's in WWE, and fucking he got addicted to drugs, but he's back, and we love him now. You know, that's basically what it was. It's basically just like, he was in ECW. That happened. Anyway, you know, goddamn, there was just so much missing information on that DVD to me. Oh God, I hated it.
Each their own.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
This is one I actually forgot about, too. Oh, well. All right. So my number 6, as we were just talking about, Dark Side, Montreal Screwjob.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this, but I had a theory the other day. There's moments like this that we talk about, like Montreal Screwjob and Foley coming off the cell, where it's like people have talked it to death. But if Darkseid does an episode on Foley coming off the cell, I think it'd be interesting if like they spent like, I don't know, 10 minutes going over the events and then finding people in the crowd from that show and asking them what they thought as that happened, just to get like a fan's perspective, because that's the only thing we haven't had. Everybody else has talked it to death, but there's no fans out there that have been like interviewed about what did you think when this actually happened. Did you think it was still a shoot or work, or did you think it was a shoot? Like, you know, I think that'd be interesting.
Why did they kill them?
And then when Taker chokeslams him through the cell, Jerry Lawler with one of the best calls ever. That's it. He's dead.
Yeah. 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 But I mean, same thing with the Montreal Screwjob, though. It'd be interesting if they went and found fans that were in that in Montreal that night and talked to them and asked them what they thought about the screw job as it was happening, right?
Yeah, that'd be an interesting take from
it. Yeah, I think they kind of did that though.
Did they?
There's been different things over the years where like different I feel like I've seen something like that.
Don't they do that in the Bret Hart documentary Wrestling with Shadows? Don't quote me on that. But I think you're right. I think you're right. They have some in the street that are like, "Oh, I can't believe he would do this." Like, why would he do this to him? Yeah, he's going to competition, but he said he would lose it. Like,
That's interesting. It's been a long time since
I've watched Wrestling with Shadows. I think I only watched it one time, which is why. You know.
Yeah.
All right. So for my number 6 is actually Shelby's number 9, I think. What was your number 9, Shelby?
Dark Side, Cocaine and Cowboys.
What was your number 10?
Spectacular History of the AWA.
That's it. That's my number 6. Because again, it falls into the category of World Class Championship Wrestling. Like, I always heard of the AWA. I always knew that WWE pretty much like said, "Hey, we want all your people."
They were probably
we'll leave you to shit people, but you know, we'll take all the good ones. And
out of all the territories, I think they rated the AWA probably the worst.
Yeah. So like when I watched this documentary, I was just like, fuck, I didn't realize a lot of these people were in AWA, and Vince just fucking picked them off one by one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know? So like it was very informative, and it has a really good rewatchability factor. I mean, there's been times where like I think one time I had like a cold or something, and I just fucking put this on, and I was able to pass the fuck out watching this one because it was really, really good. So I mean, I can't say much more about it than what Shelby's already said. So.
Is that number 5 now we're on?
Yeah, we're on number 5.
Born to Controversy, the Roddy Piper story.
Ooh.
And it's... I think up until that point, that was the most candid I had ever seen Roddy Piper. So it kind of took me away from like, here's like TV Roddy, like show Roddy, and then here's regular Roddy Piper. I'm like, whoa, this dude is like, wow. And I just remember like who he seemed to be as like outside of the ring, and also the fact that like it includes almost like tons of Piper's Pit on that set.
I think I think the third disc is all just Piper's Pit.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
This is all just Piper's Pit. Like the one with Mr. America and there's
Zach Gowen.
one with Mr. America and Zach Gowen. There's one with there's the one from Mania 21 on that set. But it's not just that either. Like, I mean, the actual documentary itself it kind of gets more candid with Piper himself as he goes into like the foundations of his career and things.
I have a feeling that like sometimes there was a hard time to tell when Roddy Piper started and like actual like I don't know what his fucking real name is, but
Roderick
like,
Toombs.
Yeah. Like I have a feeling he'd be that kind of a fucking just from like what I've seen of him.
You would think, but he doesn't. He didn't seem like it.
No.
He seemed more like he was just a regular dude.
Yeah.
But he got very outlandish on camera.
Yeah. Whenever that camera's on, right?
Well, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, my number 5, you guys are probably going to laugh at. I said the Hard Knocks one was the first one I watched. That was not true. This is the first.
You goddamn liar!
It was probably the second one, but this is the first one I ever bought and watched, and it's John Cena Word Life. I fucking loved this when I was a kid, man. Fucking loved it.
Is that the one with where he's like leaning on the yellow like car on the cover?
Yeah, no, it's on the cover. It's just orange with I think like his Word Life knuckle thing.
Oh, that was the very first one.
That was the very first one. Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, where it has like his whole like rap group with him at the end and shit.
They're like sitting on yourself.
Man, I was such a John Cena fan when I was a kid. Fuck.
How many times have you watched it?
I don't know. I haven't watched it in a very long time, but when I was a kid, probably like fucking at least a dozen times.
Okay,
and
that's about 10 too many.
I also bought his album when it came out. I don't know if you guys knew that.
That's understandable.
I listened to it like the whole way for our Ottawa trip, which was like a 6-hour drive.
Oh, I'd kill you.
No, it was in headphones. Like I was on a bus.
I was gonna say I'd fucking kill you.
No, God, no, I wouldn't make.
Hey, we're gonna go on a 6-hour trip, Will. We're gonna listen to some music. It's just a fucking John Cena CD for 6 hours. I'd kill you after 2.
Yo, don't wanna fuck with us. You're bound to lose.
Hey, I should add that to our idea page. Maybe we should review the John Cena CD one day.
Oh God, we should.
Yeah, John Cena.
In my hand, bang it.
Okay. All right, my number 5. I'm actually surprised this hadn't shown up on anybody's list yet, but I think this is what it's called. It's been a while since I watched it, but I used to watch it a lot when I first got it. But I think it's called The Stone Cold Truth, the Steve Austin story.
God damn it! Why didn't I add that one?
That is good. It's like 2.5 hours long. Has a good length to it. I don't really feel like I got cheated on that one. I think everything is talked about. Him walking out of the company, him like his early days, him in WCW, and just every aspect of Stone Cold up until that point when that DVD came out.
His best promo of all time is on that DVD too. That's the one in ECW where he's like standing in that fucking basement, just like going on about WCW. It's fucking incredible.
Okay. But yeah,
I used to know that off by heart.
Overall, this DVD, the documentary itself is just like sometimes I'll watch like a lot of these like WWE release documentaries. Yeah, there may be a match or two on there. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, I'll watch that again. But mainly, I look for the documentary side of it. But like this is one had a good length to it. Like I said, I think it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, something like that.
It's long, yeah.
Yeah, it's somewhere in that neighborhood.
The only thing I don't like is this is around the time where they started doing the talk about things and they'd do a match. I preferred it when they like talked about it and then the matches were at the end so that you could just like.
This one wasn't that. This is all documentary.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I'm thinking of a later one.
Yeah, I think the later ones you're thinking of, like the second John Cena one is like that. The Randy Orton one.
Like that.
There was I'm pretty sure there was a Stone Cold one too, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think that's the second one. It's what is it called?
I think that's the one I have.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah, it's the one that came out after this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, great rewatchability factor, especially like if you just got into wrestling and you're just like, oh man, I like this Stone Cold guy, man. This is what you want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
4.
My number 4 is, and this is where the surprise, why I say it will surprise you. And I was kind of torn between putting the DVD on, but then I remembered, no, the biography was better. The A&E biography of Macho Man Randy Savage. Now, the DVD was kind of transposed into the biography with more added to it.
Yeah, because like I said, with the DVD, it just felt like, oh man, I can't wait for him to talk about this. And it's just like, just for example, I don't know if this happens in a DVD, it's been so long, but it's like, oh man, I can't wait for him to talk about Elizabeth. And it's just like, so, and this year he married Elizabeth. That happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm like, whoa, fucker. I want to know more about this. It's that's how it felt with like a lot of the topics in the Macho Man DVD. So I didn't watch the A&E one. So if that one's better, then hey, maybe I'll check it out. But the DVD one was horrible.
Like after I had watched the A&E one, I remember thinking, wow, that was like much better than that DVD.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are.
Like they spent more time talking about him in baseball than I think him winning the world title.
That sounds about right.
Like
of course.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my number 4, and I almost put it at number 1, but I decided to shoot it back a little bit, is one that's already been talked about, Hard Knocks, the Chris Benoit story.
That was almost your number 1?
Yeah, just because Chris Benoit. And the time frame when it came out, and the fact that I was a fucking huge fan of him back then. Yeah.
Oh, did you put him at number 4 because you had the job to him?
I didn't even watch that. Did I lost?
Oh my god!
Buddy, you sent it to me on the weekend.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I wasn't at home.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even with you, and even when I can, I still can't because I can't even.
There's an interesting little bit. I don't know if you saw this because I didn't see this for fucking years, and then a couple years later, I watched it again. There's like in one of the screens, there's a little tooth in like the right corner, and if you go click on that, it explains how he lost his tooth. Did you? Yeah. Did you find that, Nick?
No, I never found that.
I don't remember ever finding it, but I read about it.
Apparently, he was like wrestling around with his dog. He used to do it like all the time. And like, I think his father came over and was like trying to get his attention. And he looked up at him and the dog fucking headbutted him in the fucking chin. And it like knocked his tooth out. Yeah.
So one thing I remember from that DVD is that there's an awesome, like, again, I'm not a big technical wrestling match type of guy, but there's a great match between him and William Regal from the Brian Pillman Memorial Show.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Again, I'm not a big technical wrestling fan, man. Like, where it's just like, let's just do holds and fucking chain wrestle and shit. But that one right there, I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah. Well, and Benoit did it a lot with Angle too. Like a lot of those, you can make chain wrestling exciting if you know how to do it, right? And Benoit was one of those guys who knew how to make it exciting. I mean, he's so hard hitting, was so hard hitting. Still too bad. Anyways.
Ask Daniel Pewter that.
Yeah.
See, this is why people, I think, should listen to our podcast more, because they get these little in jokes that we throw in.
Did we talk about Pewter already?
No, but I'm just saying, like, they would get that joke, like, oh, ask Daniel Pewter that. They're like, because Chris Benoit fucked them up. Okay. All right, my number 4, I was suspiciously quiet during one of Nick's entries, because my number 4 is Born to Controversy, the Roddy Piper story. I actually remember the day I bought this. I was still working at Blockbuster, and it was a very slow night. It was one of the slowest fucking nights I ever worked at Blockbuster. So I asked my manager, I was like, you mind if I pop this in and watch it? He was like, go for it. So we popped it in, man. We watched the whole fucking documentary and shit, and it was astounding. Learned so much about Piper, because again, up until that point, Piper was like one of those old school guys that like I knew of, and I knew some things about him. Like I knew him from his WCW run. And I think that's like the only minor thing. Again, it was like one of those things where like, yeah, Piper went to WCW. That happened. You know, I'm like, fuck, talk more. Like, you know, that was like my only minor gripe with this documentary. You know, it's like, yeah, he showed up and he did some things, and yeah, he left. You know, I'm like, a little bit more, please. Like, can you talk about the ghost tape? You know, are y'all familiar with the ghost tape?
No.
Roddy Piper, when WCW was like really circling the drain at this point, he sent them a tape and said, here, I think this ideal would work. And it was essentially the blueprint for what would become the New Blood. But it was going to be led by Piper, and it was going to be called the Bad Blood. And it was like this promo that he cut, and like I think you can find it on YouTube now, but before like YouTube was a thing, he used to sell it on his website for $15. And so like I would have liked if they talked about that. That'd been really interesting. I would have loved to hear it. I think you can look it up. I think if you type in like Roddy Piper ghost tape, you can find it. But like if you watch that, you can see like, you'll see New Blood in it and shit. But yeah, it was just one of those old school guys that I'm just like, all right, I know of him, I know some things about him, but like this really like laid the blueprint more. I'm like, oh, okay, I get this guy a little bit more now.
That must have been one of the handy things about working at a video store, though, is like being able to just kind of watch shit when it's slow, eh?
Not really. We weren't really allowed to do that.
Oh, no?
No.
Because they usually have like something playing.
Yeah, they were called quote unquote trailer tapes, even though it was a DVD. And it was just basically, you know, trailers, music videos, whatever. They sent you one every month.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep. And that was my number 4.
My number 3 is the Barry Blaustein epic Beyond the Mat.
Dude, that's my number 3 too.
Nice. I think that was the first real documentary that looked into behind the scenes. That was the first kind of glimpse into backstage WWF. Like Foley and the kids is what I remember most, and Jake, like, and how they kind of go into that as well. I think that's also with Draws too. They talk about Draws in that one. He's gonna puke.
Yeah.
He's gonna puke. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think they mentioned at the end, like shortly after the filming, is when he got paralyzed. But like in the movie, yeah. I've seen, you know, since Nick's mentioned it, I've seen this movie probably more times than probably any human being should. But you know, but yeah, this is great. Fun fact about Beyond the Mat: they originally wanted to go to WCW, but WCW wanted complete control of the movie. Like they wanted to edit it and all this shit, and Barry Blaustein was just like, no.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they didn't.
WWE did the rare thing and said, we'll give you full access. It wasn't until after shit was done where they were just like, oh, wait. You know, but it was too late. The paperwork and shit like that was done. So, like, that's it. Whatever was in the movie, they could use. The only thing that they could stop, though, if you look at the original cover of the DVD, you'll notice that The Rock and Mick Foley look a little weird. It's because it's not really The Rock and Mick Foley. They're lookalikes. They could not use their likeness for the DVD. Yeah. That is Terry Funk on the cover, though. And Shelby, you're number 3?
So I'm the only one that didn't choose that for number 3. I have Dark Side Collision in Korea.
You should be ashamed of yourself. That means it's either 2 or 1 then. Oh, okay.
Sure. Collision in Korea was just, I can't believe I heard of this. I didn't realize that it was in North Korea until this documentary came out. And it still boggles my mind that they thought about going to North Korea to do a fucking wrestling show. And Too Cold Scorpio's a fucking moron. Like,
I gotta watch this. I still have yet to watch this one.
Oh, I
gotta watch it.
Yeah, this season, I think it was my favorite episode of Dark Side, I think.
Well, obviously, if it's number 3.
Yeah. Well, there's still 2. Yeah, just crazy. Like Eric Bischoff talking about how, you know, he goes out for a run at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and when people start coming out, they're like not running away from him scared, but they're like cowering away from him because this is the first ever American they've seen in their life, and they've been trained to believe that Americans are there to rape their women and pillage and all this shit, like old Viking kind of stories. Man, it's fucking nuts. And
I just want to know, like, who. I want to know. Do they mention like who talked to the head of North Korea to get that deal done?
Yes. Yeah.
They do? Okay, don't tell me.
Yeah. I was about to, but
I would love to see that. Like, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall for that meeting. Mr. Kim Jong-un, we'd like to bring a wrestling show here, and he's just like, what? Kim Jong-il at the time. Sorry, Kim Jong-il.
Oh, I don't want to spoil any more for you, so we should move on.
No, because if they mention like the meeting they had with Kim Jong-il to bring that show there, then I want to watch it. All right, so I did my number 3. So Nick, we're on your number 2.
So my number 2 is actually it's from the I think it's a Netflix original, The Toys That Made Us, on
I think it is too.
Season 3, Episode 4, going over professional wrestling toys, but more specifically like Galoob and LJN and Hasbro. Cody Rhodes is featured in the episode. He does interviews for it. Justin Roberts is also in there. X-Pac and Summer Rae, of all people. Because he introduced.
Why Summer Rae?
I don't know.
That just seemed like a producer. Like, please just get a wrestler here, and I got Summer Rae. Who? She worked in WWE. Okay, fine, get her. Right.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just needed a third person, or a fourth. Sorry, because they had Justin.
They needed
Roberts,
a woman.
They had Sean Waltman. They had Cody Rhodes. They're like, we need a female.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can we call the Fabulous Moolah? She's dead. So is that a no?
That's no. Okay. Summer Rae, who? The one that danced with Fandango that time. Who? Yeah, okay, whatever. But no, I had no idea. Like, there was even wars between toy companies for WWF licensing.
I thought I watched this episode until you mentioned that Summer Rae was in it, but apparently I never got to watching this episode.
That's the last one they came out with.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My number 2, Triumph and Tragedy of WCCW. Yeah, I almost said WCW. I mean, we already really talked about it. It was a great documentary.
Okay. My number 2 should come as no surprise to nobody, but it is actually... And now, I said I've watched Beyond the Mat more times than any human being should. I've probably watched this DVD probably more than any of the documentaries on this list combined. And that is Pick Your Poison, the Jake Roberts story.
I figured that was coming.
I could probably fucking quote this to you almost verbatim. Like, no shit. That is not like an exaggeration. Like,
I can only imagine.
I used to quote this to my friend, and like every time I would do a quote from it, he's just like, "You've watched this too many fucking times." You know, it was his story of his career up until fucking whatever year he got RKO, until WrestleMania 21, whatever year that was, 2006.
Sure.
Yeah. Whatever. But like, yeah, I've again, I mean. Oh God! It just you want to talk again? You think Triumph and Tragedy of World Class Championship Wrestling has some tragedy in it? Holy shit!
Well, yeah.
I mean, like if you watch the Jake Roberts DVD and need to cheer up some, watch World Class Championship Wrestling. You know, like fuck, that'll make it cheer up a little bit compared to the Jake Roberts one. You know, because I mean, the shit that he's gone through and shit like that. You know, like the drinking and the drugs and you know, like. The man spit whiskey in my face. Didn't have to be whiskey. Could have been iced tea. But it was whiskey. And the shit burned. You know, see, that shows you how many times I fucking watched this damn thing. But yeah.
Much, out of curiosity, how much did you learn from the Grizzly Smith one? like from after watching the Jake Roberts one? Like how much of that was included into the Jake Roberts one is what I'm kind of asking, I guess.
Believe it or not, there was not a lot of new Jake Roberts info in the fucking Grizzly Smith episode, because some of it is touched upon in Pick Your Poison about him going to live with his mom, then his grandmother dies, he's pissed off about it, so then he ends up going to live with his dad, you know, et cetera, et cetera. They obviously they tend to stay away from the they kind of touch upon like, oh, I think my dad maybe slept with people younger than him and shit, but they don't really say like, yeah, he fucked a 13-year-old. You know,
well, they didn't know about it quite. Well, I mean, some people did, but it wasn't like as common knowledge, obviously.
Exactly.
Right?
But like in Dark Side, they pretty much say, yeah, Grizzly fucked that 13-year-old. Whereas in Pick Your Poison, they kind of like tinkle around it. You know?
Did they mention his sister and his brother at all?
They do.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, that's what I was waiting for them to mention in the Grizzly Smith episode about the murder and everything, but they didn't really touch upon that much. You know?
Yeah, the other sister.
Yeah.
They talked about it a little bit. They just kind of like talked about it for like 5 minutes, and that was it.
Exactly, you know. So, but yeah, Pick Your Poison. If again, like I said, if you're just like, hey, I really want to be depressed today, well, watch Pick Your Poison. If you want to cheer up afterwards, watch World Class Championship Wrestling DVD.
Fair enough.
All right, so.
And before we do our number ones, do anybody have any honorable mentions?
No.
Shelby?
No.
The two that I wrote down while doing this, which I really wish I would have reevaluated this list to put these on here, and that is the Dining on Death and Eating Destruction, or whatever the fuck it's called. The story of the Road Warriors.
Oh,
very good documentary. Very good. And just for the pure entertainment value of it alone, I've watched it many times and I fucking love it. And that is the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. I like it. Really good. All right, Nick, you're number one.
My number one. And I haven't seen, like, I mean, and I've said it's been a long time since I watched this one, but when I first got it, I watched it probably every 2 days. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. That is like, there was a point in time where it was like, Pick Your Poison was for you. I could quote that. I could talk about like him in Brooklyn, New York as the Jewish kid and going to the shows and like at Studio 54 and like all the backstory with ECW, and he touches on leaving and the retouched vision for ECW and how that fell apart, and like, if you thought you knew about Paul Heyman, you probably know nothing until you watch this.
I agree, because like when that came out, I remember I was living with the baby mama at the time, and like I had some expendable money. You know, when you have a kid and everything, when you're trying to raise a family of 3 on a budget of 1, you know, so. You know, when you're just like, what should I buy this week? Soap or food? And soap wins. It's pretty bad. But whatever. I had some expendable money, so I was like, I'm going to buy that fucking Paul Heyman DVD, expecting it to just be like, you know, I grew up, you know, I did ECW and dig a little deeper in ECW and such like that, and so forth and so forth. But like, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised about how informative that DVD actually was. You know.
Like, I think that's actually the first I really heard in detail about how he would have ECW wrestlers fly on bereavement pairs to save the company money until RVD got caught. Or it was like, I think it was Sabu got caught because he used the same relative twice and the same person answered the phone.
Oh, so you would have learned about that if you would have watched the Rise and Fall of ECW DVD, because that's
and I remember reading that in the book, and I read that after I watched Ladies and Gentlemen, My Name is Paul Heyman. So yeah, I probably would have learned a lot more from watching Rise and Fall of ECW, but no, I mean in terms of the Paul Heyman DVD, I mean in the extras, at least on the DVD itself, you do get the shoot promo, like him versus Vince, when he's like, I hate your stinking guts. Oh.
I'll mention
that shoot promo is good.
All right.
Well, by process of elimination, Shelby's number one is Beyond the Mat.
So I'm gonna level with you. This one I knew would not be on either of your lists because I knew you guys had never heard about it until I showed it to you earlier today, earlier yesterday, from YouTube. Original wrestling documentaries, The Untold Story of the Wrestling Territories.
Where the fuck is Beyond the Mat?
I forgot about Beyond the Mat. I've watched it once.
Oh.
Well, like last week, we are looking for a new member of the three-way dance. If you would like to leave your application down below, go ahead.
So I've been watching this while I eat my breakfast, basically for the past couple months, on and off, and I was watching it long before that even too.
Did it take you a couple months to watch a 5-hour documentary? Are you sure?
I watch it on repeat. I just watch it over and over and over again. They do stuff on Stampede, they do stuff on the AWA, WCCW, Crockett, Florida Championship Wrestling, Jerry Jarrett in Memphis, Paul Bosch, like just all the old school stuff. St. Louis Wrestling Club with Sam Muchnick. Just so much information on how wrestling started and how the territory started and how the NWA really formed and the different territories. And they even did the UWF in Mid-South. And there's just so much information in these documentaries. They're awesome.
Are they like visual or are they just audio?
There is visual. They do show like pictures. There's a little bit of footage as well. Like they show some stuff from Stampede and stuff as well. And they talk about the first ever ladder match to happen in Stampede Wrestling, which was like 1973. Like
wasn't that Jake Roberts and Junkyard Dog?
No. Who the fuck was it? I think it was. Oh fuck! I was watching that one this morning too. I don't remember who it was. It wasn't Jake Roberts, so as far as I know.
Because I could have swore on the ladder match DVD it was Jake Roberts and.
I could be wrong, but there's just so much information in these videos, and they even do like Capital Wrestling and the WWF. Yeah, great YouTube series.
And by process of elimination, my number one is the rise and fall of ECW. At the time of the release, this was probably the most informative DVD that WWE ever released. I remember when I graduated high school, with graduation money I got from family, I went out and bought this DVD. It was $30 fucking. Now you can get it for like $1, but it was $30 brand new at a fucking Sam Goody. So I bought it and I watched it like all in one night and such like that. So bought it, watched it, fucking loved it. And they fucking probably just like the book, they go through everything. I mean, they touch on the Blue World Order. They touch on Mick Foley. They touch on Terry Funk. I mean, they touch on everything. Like Mike Awesome abandoning ECW to go to WCW with the ECW title. I mean, the epic fucking promo that Paul Heyman cut, which is my favorite part in the DVD because Paul Heyman's talking about how, like, he was like, at that point, we were just trying to get kicked off of TNN. And then it cuts to that promo. Or like he said something like, you know what, we were going to succeed or something like that. Then it cuts to that promo where it's just like, hey, you better take that money and buy lawyers because I'm coming at you and shit like that. Then the next scene is Paul Heyman sitting there and he's like, we're dead. We're dead in the water.
Yeah.
It was just a great cutaway. You better take that $80 million that WWE is giving you and you better invest it in lawyers because you haven't seen the last of me. Next scene, Paul Heyman sitting there, we're dead. We're dead in the water. We're taking bullet after bullet, and we couldn't do nothing about it.
It's crazy, too. And, like, I do remember this from that documentary, how much, like, some of the wrestlers were, like, fronting money and, like, fucking booking shit and doing all his things for him because he didn't have enough money to pay anybody else to do it.
Yep.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, everything that you could possibly, like, all the big things in ECW, mass transits touched upon, although I think what is it, Hardcore Revolution DVD, I think that's what it's called. What is it? There's another ECW type documentary. I think it's Hardcore Revolution. I think that, don't quote me on that.
There's also the Untold Story of ECW.
I don't know, but they touch on the mass transit thing a little bit better than the ECW one did. And hell, even the New Jack Dark Side of the Ring touches on it a little bit. It's not as bad as like some of the other ones where it's just like, yeah, mass transit happened anyway. But no, they touch upon it, but overall, this was like one of the most informative fucking ones they ever put out. Like to the point where like when they released the Rise and Fall of WCW, I was like, fuck yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Rise and Fall of ECW is 2.5 hours long. Mm-hmm. So when I pop in Rise and Fall of WCW, I'm like, fuck yeah, hour and 27 minutes. I'm like, wait, what? Is there, am I missing a disc? Like, what happened? You know, it was just so disappointing when that DVD came out. So, yep, that's my favorite, Rise and Fall of ECW. And, yeah, you and Nick, you should be ashamed of yourself for never ever watched it. And Shelby, you should be ashamed of yourself for not putting Beyond the Mat on the list and only watching it once.
So a little update here, though. The first ever ladder match in Stampede Wrestling was 1972. Dan Crow Fat versus Tor Kamada was the first ever ladder match. No, that's not what you said at all.
That was close.
Yeah, sure.
Close.
I was in there somewhere. I was in the ballpark. I mean, I wasn't exactly right, but I was
I mean, it is a black guy and a white guy, so
in the nosebleeds. Behind him.
All right, so that was our top 10 favorite wrestling-related documentaries there. And next week, I can tell you right now, here and there, that we will be, unfortunately, reviewing Money in the Bank. So be prepared for that one.
Yay.
But before we get to our Sportster List of the Week and your questions here, we got to talk about one of our sponsors, and our other sponsor being HardToFindTV.com and their sister site, FanMadeDVD.com, which... announcing right now, I gotta let you guys know. Do you have that weird friend who likes to watch TV shows with the subtitles on, even though they're not deaf or anything?
Yeah,
that's me.
Well, now HardToFindTV.com and FanMadeDVD.com offer subtitles in not only English but any language you want. All you gotta do is tell them which one you want. It does take a little bit longer to get your product, but with quality such as HardToFindTV.com and FanMadeDVD, it's worth every penny of it. So you can go on over there and search through the thousands of TV shows from your youth that you probably haven't seen in a while, or you can probably look on the Netflix shows and get one of those. You can get the shows on Discovery Plus, whatever you like. Just all you got to do is email them and say, hey, I want this. They'll slap that on a DVD or Blu-ray for you for a reasonable price.
Just slap it on.
Slap it on. And just right there. Just like you slap a hooker's ass, man. Bam, right there.
Fair enough. I can appreciate
slap it
that.
on there for a great price. And if that price just isn't great enough for you, you can use my checkout code ARTIST and you can save 15% on your entire order. So head on over to either one of those sites right there. If you use HardToFindTV.com, you can only use Amazon Pay. So if you like Amazon Pay, hey, that's the site for you. But if you want to use your credit card or your PayPal or anything like that, you got to go over to FanMadeDVD.com. So if you want classics such as the Clueless television show, head on over. And if you're like, hey, man, I want to read the subtitles while I do it, well, then, hey, let them know. They'll do it. They'll slap those on there for you. Take a little bit extra time, because that takes time. So head on over there. Let them know the artist from the three-way dance sent you. Use my checkout code ARTIST and save 15% on your entire order. All right, and I lied. Before we get to the Sportster List of the Week, we actually have our wrestling fact of the week.
All right.
So, so Nick, hit us with your wrestling fact of the week.
So for our wrestling fact of the week, we actually go, this is a story of an unlikely duo. So it was in Anchorage, Alaska, I believe. I believe it was Anchorage, somewhere in Alaska, that John Cena and Chris Jericho were out drinking after a live event. Now, during this evening, after they had several cocktails, Jericho was going on about his usual drunken ways of just being the life of the party, while Cena, I guess, had actually befriended, but not only befriended this couple, he counseled them on their marriage. Now, as Cena is counseling this couple, Jericho gets more drunk and ends up with a cooler full of beer that he paid for as the bar is closing down for the night. So the story goes, Jericho next remembers it was 3 hours later. He woke up in a pitch black hotel room, his hotel room, their hotel room, I guess, He was shirtless with no shoes. He still had pants on. In the corner, he could see just the light, like a little square light. So he turns on the room light, and here's a shirtless John Cena who has drank this cooler full of beer. There was about 24 beers in there. And he's sitting there listening to an iPod. Incidentally, it was Chris Jericho's iPod. And when Jericho asked him, "Hey, man, what the fuck are you doing?" He's like, well, I wanted to make sure you were okay. And the beer was cold. So I sat here drinking beer, watching you and listening to your iPod. And I guess Jericho was not pleased at the time. They laugh about it now, but I guess Cena outdrank Jericho that night, and Jericho still to this day is not happy about the fact that Cena outdrank him and drank his beer at that.
And used his shit.
And used his shit, yeah.
And breaking news here, Karrion Kross retains the NXT title.
Thank God.
Shut up, bitch.
He attacked Joe, though.
Fuck Johnny Gargano. Fuck him and everything he's about.
It's going to be Joe.
Hey, that'd be cool.
They ended NXT. Though? Well, they ended NXT with Kross leveling Joe, so...
Yeah, but is he cleared, though? Because he had a concussion.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I mean, so did Daniel Bryan, and he got cleared, so, I mean, you know... Triple H might have cleared him with the NXT magic.
NXT magic.
All right, now let's get on to our Sportster list of the week, which I just randomly changed. So guess what? I'm going into it blind with you guys. Because it was 10 matches you forgot happened at Money in the Bank. But you know what? I wasn't feeling it anymore. That tends to happen when I do these lists. So I just clicked on a random one here, and that is the top 10 worst Money in the Bank ladder matches in history according to CageMatch.net, which I kind of feel bad doing because the original one was by our good old friend Gabe Eckhart, but it just wasn't kooky enough for me. So these are the worst ladder in the bank. Yeah, the ladder in the bank matches.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
there's just a ladder hanging above the ring.
You got stacked briefcases up there to get it.
Yeah. The only way to win is by stacking the briefcases one by one.
Grab the ladder.
Reasonable height in order to then grab the ladder. Once you have grabbed the ladder, well, you win, I guess.
You retrieve the ladder and you win the match.
Wait, we TNA it here. You stack briefcases up to grab the ladder, then you use the ladder to hang a briefcase above the ring.
Yes, that's
perfect.
It. Beautiful.
Perfect.
All right, so number 10 on the worst Money in the Bank ladder matches, according to CageMatch.net. Number 10 is the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match from 2018 with a rating of 7.45. This was I believe, the inaugural Women's...
No, it was 2017, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, no, this is the one that Alexa Bliss won, where she eventually cashed in her contract later and defeated Nia Jax.
Oh,
I don't think I've seen this one.
I don't think this was a bad one.
I don't think so either.
I mean, you had Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Ember Moon, Lana, Naomi, and Sasha Banks. I mean, like, shit. I mean, take out maybe Naomi and put in somebody else, and yeah, you got yourself a pretty good fucking lineup there, man.
Yep.
Lana at the time was, working it. So, I mean, like, I was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you haven't seen this one, Shelby? So
I don't think so. No.
All right. Coming in at number 9 with a rating of 7.43 is the WrestleMania 25 Money in the Bank ladder match. Featuring Kane, Shelton Benjamin, Finlay, Mark Henry, Christian, MVP, Kofi Kingston, and I believe CM Punk.
Yeah, that's the one CM Punk won for the second year in a row. It wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't a bad Money in the Bank, but I mean, I wouldn't put it in like a top 10, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything bad about this. I mean, there was a couple of cool spots in it. Was Kennedy in this one? Is this the one I'm thinking of? No, okay, that was 23 I'm thinking of. I was like, this is the one where you like fucking Green Bay plunges Swoggle and shit. That was fucking dope. But no, this is the one where Swoggle tadpole splashes off of Mark Henry onto a group of people. Still good. I mean, like, I don't know. Sometimes some of these things here are just fucking bonkers. I don't know why. All right, coming in at number 8 with a rating of 7.42. is the men's Money in the Bank ladder match from 2018, which is the one Braun Strowman won.
I don't even remember who else was in it.
The Miz, Braun Strowman, Kevin Owens, Bobby Roode, Finn Balor, Kofi Kingston, Rusev, and Samoa Joe.
Oh, wow. Kind of an awkward lineup. I don't think I saw that.
This is when Bobby Roode was switched from SmackDown to Raw when it looked like they were going to make him a top guy. We saw how well that worked out. Braun Strowman ends up choke slamming Owens off a ladder through a table by the stage. I actually thought Kingston, this was going to be his year, but I was wrong. Y'all don't even remember this, so it must be that bad if y'all don't even remember it.
I don't think I saw this one either, because this was the same year as the Alexa Bliss one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so I didn't see this one.
Wow. Okay, I really should have reviewed this list before picking it. All right, coming in at number 7 with a rating of 7.23. That is the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match from 2012 that features Dolph Ziggler, Christian, Tyson Kidd, Santino Marella, Cody Rhodes, Sin Cara, and Sweet Tea himself, Tensai.
Oh, God. Yikes. Fucking Tensai.
Captain Charisma had the most experience in the match as it was his 5th appearance. Tensai's participation was questionable as he was not a ladder match specialist. Where does it say you have to be a ladder match specialist to compete in these, though? Mark Henry wasn't one.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense
Flair
either.
Wasn't one.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense either.
Finley was like in 4 of them.
Yeah,
Look how many Kane
was in. I don't think ladder match.
Yeah, Kane was surprisingly good in them, though. I mean, they needed like a big man who could move around, and he was still pretty good at it, right? So, I mean, he was in the first one, right?
Yep.
And nevertheless, the night belonged to Dolph Ziggler, who was victorious, and he defended the Money in the Bank contract on a different character. Plus, he had one of the most epic cash-ins of all time. Too bad it didn't work out for him in the long run.
Really? I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, he cashed in on Alberto Del Rio, and then he got a concussion, and they were just like, "Fuck that! Give us the belt back."
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't get the joke.
What was the joke?
Really, I don't remember that. Because concussion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it took me a second. I got it. Coming in at number 6. Yeah, I should have reviewed this first. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match from 2020 with a rating of 6.64. Bullshit.
Huh.
Pardon?
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
The men's iteration featured Otis, AJ Styles, The Miz, King Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Aleister Black, and D-Bry.
I mean, no matter what you think of this match.
I
don't think that you could put it on a list of good or bad just because it's not a typical Money in the Bank ladder match.
This is one of the best ones they ever did.
Yeah, but it's not like a typical Money in the Bank ladder match, though. It's different. Like it should be on its own list, you know?
Own list of what?
I don't know. It doesn't. You know what? It doesn't even need a list. Fuck lists.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Otis emerged as a surprise winner, but he failed to cash in the contract as The Miz defeated him at Hell in a Cell 2024. Coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 5 with a rating of 6.39. It is the Money in the Bank ladder match from WrestleMania 26.
Who was in it?
Which had the biggest field ever with Jack Swagger, Kane, Drew McIntyre, pre-3MB Drew McIntyre, mind you, Matt Hardy, MVP, Christian, Shelton Benjamin, Evan Bourne, Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston, Shelton Benjamin's mom, Michael Cole, Did
Randy Orton run in this one?
No, Randy Orton was
23.
Swagger had some trouble retrieving the briefcase, which seemed like an eternity, but before he managed to unhook it, he cashed in on Chris Jericho for his sole World Heavyweight Championship reign days later on SmackDown.
Before he managed to unhook it, he cashed it. Oh, no, yeah. I mean, the match was okay, but I didn't think Swagger should have won it.
Who out of this field would you have picked in at WrestleMania 26 at the time?
MVP, who was not in the match?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, MVP. Or Shelton Benjamin. But I always, if Shelton Benjamin was in it, I always was pulling for Shelton Benjamin. And never happened. Boo.
All right, coming in at number 4 with a rating of 6.38. It is the women's Money in the Bank ladder match from 2019, which featured Bayley, Natalya, Carmella, Nikki Cross, Dana Brooke, Ember Moon, Mandy Rose, and Naomi.
Bayley won that one?
This is the one Bayley won.
I don't remember much of that match.
Also featured another same night cash-in.
Oh, I remember that. She cashed in on Alexa Bliss?
Cash in on Charlotte.
That's right, yeah. Of course.
I mean, again, I don't think this was a bad one. I mean, it's a women's ladder match. Like, what else do you expect them to do?
Yeah.
This is like me arguing with y'all over that fucking 3-way in Toronto. Like, what else did you want Velveteen Dream to do? Pull out a gun and shoot somebody? Like,
it would have been interesting.
Coming in at number 3 is the men's, well, it was only men's at the time, so Money in the Bank ladder match 2015 with a rating of 6.35. This was the anyone but you Roman year. So this was Sheamus, Roman Reigns, Kane, Randy Orton, Neville, oh man, remember that one? Kofi Kingston, and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, I didn't see this one either.
Anyone but you, Roman. This was definitely the year I was like, okay, this has to be Kofi Kingston, because at the time, Reigns was doing the shit with Wyatt. Neville, I knew they weren't going to give it to. I think like Randy Orton, Kane, and Ziggler were like feuding with other people, or feuding with each other, where I was like, all right, they cancel each other out. And I was like, I know they're not going to give it to Sheamus. So Kofi Kingston's the only other pick. And then what do you know? Sheamus fucking wins it.
Yeah. I remember thinking, Sheamus? Really?
Yeah, this is like the only one on the list so far that like I can be like, oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Sheamus should not have won at all. Ugh, and even that cash-in was shit.
All right, coming in at number 2 is the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match from 2012 with a rating of 6.24. I believe this is what they billed as the Money in the Bank All-Star match, I believe.
This the one where only former champions could be in it? Yeah.
John Cena, Chris Jericho, The Miz, Kane, and Big Show.
I was actually
okay, so no, this wasn't the All-Star one. Okay.
I was actually going to assume that this was going to be number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is okay. This was utterly atrocious, and it was obvious Cena was going to win. The issue was that Cena did not need to win this match, as WWE title opportunities happen all the time for Cena. Miz should have prevailed, but it was not meant to be.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
I think it should have been Big Show.
He needed a special ladder just to get up there.
But that ladder was fucking dope, man.
The ladder was fucking ridiculously huge.
I know, but it was so awesome, man.
Like they had to specially make that ladder.
It was so good. I wish they'd still use that ladder.
Yeah.
It ain't even in the company anymore, but I wish they'd still use that ladder.
Fucking Kofi's like trying to set it up, falls down on him.
Can't even lift it. It takes like all 8 of them to fucking open it and shit. All right. Number 1. Any guesses before I go down? Any guesses as to what number 1? I don't even know what number 1 is. Like I said, I went into this blind with y'all.
I'm thinking it's the first women's.
The first women's, Shelby.
I think it's the and I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think it's last year's women's.
And if it's last year's women's, I swear to God. I'm trying to think, what would it be? Worst Money in the Bank ladder match. I'll say the All-Star one. That's the one I'll say. The one with RVD and all that shit. All right, here we go. List. I hate this list.
What?
That's it. No more sports list of the week. That's it. We're done.
Is it last year's women's?
Number 1 with a rating of 5.73. Are you shitting me? Women's Money in the Bank ladder match 2020.
Yeah.
Fuck this list. It was one of the best ladder matches fucking ever. Who wrote this one? Tevin King. You're now on the shit list, buddy. You and fucking Eric Rhodes or Gabriel Eckhart, whatever the fuck is real. If that's your real name, Tevin.
The shit list. The three-way dance podcast shit list. That's got to be an episode.
Fuck you and your mama. Done with sports for the rest of the night. Fuck this. It's a great match. Fucking love it. God, retarded. All right. So that was our sports list of the week. Let's go ahead and get into our questions here. And we got some great questions this week, guys.
I was just looking at them, actually.
Oh, so you didn't want to go into them blind? Oh, okay.
No, I always like go into them blind, and I didn't think any harder on it than I normally do. But anyways.
All right. Let me put these in order here. All right. First one comes from Stug138, and that is, how do you all like your coffee?
2 cream and 2 sugar.
Oh, a double. Okay.
Yeah.
1 milk. Or 2 milk, sorry.
I don't know what that's called in Canada.
Double milk.
Double milk. I just call it 2 milk.
I don't really drink a lot of coffee. You would think I would, being the caffeine fucking holic that I am, but I don't really drink coffee. I don't.
Fair enough.
I mean, every now and then I'll go to like fucking Starbucks and get one of their fucking frou ass gay drinks and shit, but but I'm not like, oh shit. Yeah, I'm not one of them fuckers that wake up in the morning and I'm just like, don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. All right, next one from Stug138. Favorite Nicolas Cage movie?
Oh, yes. Nicolas Cage versus the animatronics.
Willy's Wonderland. That's mine. Fucking love that movie.
I've never thought about this. Adaptation was good.
Way to bring us all down.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do any of you have... Oh, these are from Chili Riano. Do any of you have any wrestling experience?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I did a little bit of high school wrestling. I got German suplexed once. That fucking hurt. And I never won a match. That's about all my high school wrestling experience.
I've been in a ring, but that's it.
I once put on a match for my drama class in high school.
Nice.
We just got done doing the play for the big year, so it was like for the last few weeks, it was just like we're just sitting there doing nothing. So I figured, for shits and giggles, me and my friend Brandon, we would put on a match for him and shit like that. And I would have Justice be the referee, and Justice was like, I don't want no part in this. I was like, all right, fucker, fuck you then. So we set up the fucking drama stage like a hardcore match. Shit. So me and my buddy Brandon, we go over a couple spots that we're gonna do. I was like, all right, we're gonna do this. And he was like, what's the finish? I was like, all right, here, I'll show you the finish. So I pick him up for a power bomb. And to be honest, I didn't think of what to do next. And he was just like, so what do we do next? I was like, you'll see. I had nothing. So he was like, no, fuck no, we'll see. So I was just like, okay, so just when I pick you up for the power bomb, land on your feet, lock me in a sleeper, and I'll tap. And he was like, all right, cool, go. All right, so we get the class in there and shit, right? Now, this is something, I'm passionate about and shit, So we get the class in there, and I let him know what we're doing and shit. I figured, I told him, half the class didn't even fucking like my ass anyway. So why I wanted to do this, I don't know why. So I was like, hey, this is what we're doing and shit like that. I'm going to be the heel. He's going to be the face. You cheer for him, boo me, blah, blah, blah. So we start doing the match and shit. We're doing a couple spots and shit like that. All of a sudden, 2 of the fucking classmates run on the stage and start attacking us. Not what we planned. So now I'm pissed. And Justice knows I'm pissed. So he knows this is about to go south. So they get off the stage and they let us finish our thing. So, like, I take this broom and I'm going to do, like, the Jeff Hardy spot where he does, like, the fucking, like, looks like he's flying through the air and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I jump. And apparently I miscalculated. So, like, the broom ends up under my knee. So the next thing I hear is crack. And I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, I just broke my fucking knee, didn't I? And I'm just waiting for that rush of pain to come through. And nothing ever happened. So I was just like, okay, what was that then? So, like, I unfold my leg, and there's, like, the fucking broomstick just broken in it. And this is not like a fucking dollar store broomstick. These are like janitor fucking brooms at a high school. I broke this bitch with my knee and shit. So finally I just whispered to Brandon. I was like, take it home. He was like, all right. So power bomb him, lands on his feet, sleeper, tap. That's it.
Damn.
Yeah. To no fucks given. Yeah. All right, and the next one from Chili Riano. What 2 divas would you like to be in an oil match with? Lacey Evans, Charlotte Flair. And if Charlotte Flair is unavailable, Tessa Blanchard. Doesn't have to be current.
Let's okay. So this is going a little old school here. Okay.
Oh, okay. So Sable's 1. I know that.
Mae Young and Linda McMahon.
If you didn't want to do the podcast tonight, you could have just
Come on, man. You kidding me?
Ashley Mazzaro and Shayna Baszler.
If you didn't want to do the podcast tonight, you could have just told me.
Hey, look, man. You asked the question. I gave you the answer, pal.
I wanted Shelby's real answer, not his bullshit answer.
That is my real answer.
You're an idiot. I don't know why you fucking do this show.
Rude.
Stug's next question was, what is the best documentary you've ever seen? And I was just like, that's our episode this week.
Yeah.
Stug138, what was your first vehicle, and do you have any fond memories?
I'm guessing of the vehicle.
I'm assuming.
All right.
Unless you just don't have any fond memories at all.
I don't have fond memories.
Well, obviously, if your picks are fucking Mae Young and Linda McMahon for an oil match, I assume you have a tragic childhood.
Fuck. My first truck was a 1985 Ford Ranger. And, I was, 17 at the time when I got my full license and could actually, drive places. And, just hit the fucking pedal and go. I do remember, I don't know if this is a fond memory necessarily. I slept in the back a lot at, parties and stuff. That's kind of fond. But the one that always gets me is I had a bunch of tires. What's that?
Did you sleep or did you pass out?
Yes.
Yes.
It used to stall a lot too because it had a carburetor. But anyways, the story I was trying to get to was it had a bunch of tires in the back to hold down the bed liner. Me not realizing that the bed liner wasn't screwed in, took the fucking tires out one day. And while I was on my way to school, the fucking bed liner lifted out of the truck and almost hit the fucking school bus behind me. I had to go to school, grab more tires, go back, grab the goddamn bed liner, throw it in the truck, and then take it back home before going back to school. It was just, man, I got so much shit from people when that happened. Great truck, though. I miss it.
Hey, Nick, what's your fond memory of a vehicle?
Well, not say I have any fond memories against a vehicle, right?
I figure vehicles would be your worst enemy.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
But in terms of my car, I can remember, the first I drove consistently was a '98 Honda Civic, but this was a few years back.
Oh,
It was one that my brother restored. Because it was like in bad shape. So anyway, there was one time I drove an hour out of the way just to get a $20 bag of Taco Bell.
Nice.
It was good Taco Bell too. It was fresh. I mean, that was a rarity at that Taco Bell, that it was fresh food. It was usually like a couple hours old, but no, they had just made it. Like, there was steam coming off this bag. I was like, oh, no way. That night it wasn't so pleasant.
Nice.
But,
nice.
My first vehicle was a 1997 Ford. Ford. Oh, what the fuck was it called? It was a fucking station wagon. I forgot. Do I have any fond memories? Yeah, I did my first thing of heroin in it.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Man, if you didn't want to do this podcast.
Now you know how it feels, fucker. Stug138. 5 most disgusting moments in WWF/WWE history. One being Nick Shelby picking Linda McMahon and Mae Young for an oil match.
Oh, I still don't know why you don't like that.
Oh, gee, I wonder. At least like Linda McMahon, I can kind of fucking get behind, because then like if you fuck Linda McMahon, you could just get behind her and be like, "Who's the boss?" You know, that kind of shit. But like Mae Young.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Please stop.
Please stop.
Disgusting.
Like disgusting moment. Besides, like, what's your definition of disgusting? Do you mean disgusting as in like
Boogeyman and Jillian Hall's mole?
Or do you like disgusting as in like, oh, I cannot believe they put the belt on him. Disgusting. You know?
I mean, you could kind of include this in a disgusting moment, but Dawn Marie marries Tori Wilson's dad and then makes out with her. So it's her mother making out with her. That was pretty gross if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mae Young having a hand.
Yes.
That's gross.
Vince getting choppy Pee Wee.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see Val Venus's ass at that age. I don't need to see Val Venus's ass now, but I'm just saying, at that age, I really didn't need to see it.
Yeah.
No. I think we can all agree we don't need to see Val Venus's ass.
Mae Young stripping in the ring.
Oh.
I figured you'd love that.
Well, you know, I didn't say
shit. I have an oil match with her, so I figured that'd be like your fucking, like, your holy
Jerry
grail.
Jerry Briscoe and Patterson in the evening gown match.
Oh, fuck.
Gross. Oh, and who was it that had to drink tobacco spit?
Tommy Dreamer.
Dreamer in the tobacco spit. Katie Vick.
Well, that's just hot shit right there.
Yeah.
Heidenreich and Michael Cole in the closet.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
That's just funny. They could have did that. They could have revisited that with like Lars Sullivan. That could have been his new thing. Like
the fucking food fights they used to do. I don't know what it is, but like I don't find a food fight sexy.
I don't think they were meant to be sexy.
Yeah, but like, why do they do them then? What's the point?
Oh, people like flying food.
And it's always, well, other than I guess the July one back in like the early 2000s, it was always like women like dress.
Oh, you mean like when they do like Trish versus Stacy in a gravy match?
Or like they did like a food fight thing with I think it was Tori and Dawn Marie for Thanksgiving one year in like 03.
Oh.
Like that kind of.
It was like a turkey suit food fight.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, well, there's some examples for you, Stug. All right, and speaking of Stug, top 3 best Mr. Wonderful wrestling matches. Oof. And here's what I have to say about that. Like, again, like, I wasn't really into that style of wrestling, but when I would watch old tapes with Mr. Wonderful, I would like Mr. Wonderful. But if you were to say like, hey, name a bunch of matches with Mr. Wonderful, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I can name like the big ones, of course, WrestleMania 1, some against Hogan and shit like that.
Piper,
yeah, but like I couldn't name top 3. I just remember really liking him.
He had some great TV title matches on Saturday night in like 93 with like Ron Simmons and fucking Too Cold Scorpio.
And like I just saw a video, it was like a compilation on Instagram, so it was kind of short. It was like him doing his jumping pile driver. Oh, that was pretty.
Yeah.
All right. These next 2 come from Andrew, and it is fuck, marry, kill style. You are in a singles match against one of each of the following diva, and one unfortunate event happens. Which unfortunate event are you going to pair with the following diva? Tessa Blanchard, Lacey Evans, Charlotte. I did not pick these. And your 3 unfortunate events are sharding, which is, shitting and farting at the same time. Farting, just a straight up fart. Or skeeting, just busting a nut right then and there. During the match with them.
Okay, so this is happening to us while we're having the match with them.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
This is a weird question. This is a very strange question. I'm starting to kind of question the sanity of this. Who is it? Was it Stug? Sorry, I forgot. Andrew. I'm starting to question your sanity, Andrew. But, okay.
I think I would go. I think I would go fart with Lacey Evans just so I could still have a shot with her afterwards. Shart with Tessa Blanchard because because somebody's got to lose. And Skeet with Charlotte just because I think that would happen anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
let me change it. Evans. Let me change this question for Shelby here. So your options are Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young, and Linda McMahon.
Oh, yes to all.
Ew.
That's not the question.
Just what you said. Only I'd switch Evans with Charlotte, I guess.
So you would fart on Charlotte and bust one on Lacey Evans.
Yes.
Fair enough. All right, and Andrew tones it down a little bit with, what is each of yours favorite soda?
Oh.
Pepsi.
Just straight Pepsi?
Yep.
Fucking Coca-Cola.
Just straight Coca-Cola?
Yeah, man.
Damn. Andrew, you should know mine, man. Like, fucking, I really don't have, like, a favorite. I'm more of, like, a flavor of the month type of guy. Like, my all-time favorite is fucking Diet Coke with lime. Oh, no, that's not true. My all-time favorite is, believe it or not, Diet Pepsi with lemon. That shit was good. Diet Pepsi Twist, as they called it. Like, currently, right now, it's Coke Zero Orange Vanilla. That's probably my fucking crack. Right now, Baja Blast Zero Sugar's out. So that's probably the one I've been sucking down like water. But normally, I'd probably say Orange Vanilla, Coke Zero. That's probably the one. And the last one here I saved for last year because this is a good one. From a new person. We haven't heard this person yet because I have been posting these in the autograph group, so it could be where he came from. From Michael Bowling. If you guys could have a fatal 4-way dream match with 1 star from WCW, 1 from ECW, 1 legend from WWF, and a current WWE star, who would be in your match?
God, this is fucking hard.
That's what she said.
Or when we say WWE star, do we include NXT and stuff like that?
I guess we can.
Okay.
I've had a day to think about this question. I still haven't figured out the answer.
Oh my God, this is not an easy one.
I'm like trying to figure it out right now.
Yeah. Bear with us here.
Da-da-da-da. ECW is the one I'm fucking stuck on, man. Like,
yeah.
No,
I'm trying to think because I have the legend from WWF and I have the WCW star, but I'm trying to think who would mesh well from ECW with the two I've picked. Right. And you know what? This name popped to mind, so you know what? If that name is popping to my mind, I'm gonna write that name down just for me and a current WWE star.
Brian.
Oh,
got it.
I just need my current WWE star. You know what? That might work. No, that wouldn't work. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Okay. All right, I got mine. Shelby?
Nah, I'm not even close to ready.
God,
this is so hard. This is so difficult. Oh, damn it.
Time's up.
Cool. I'm going to keep going, though.
I heard a buzzer. That's why I said that. I heard like a That's why I was like, time's up.
I'm almost done. I just need an ECW guy.
I'm almost finished. Hold on.
There we go. Got it. All right. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to think about this. Consider that when I give it to you, but...
All right, so mine would be, my legend, of course, would be Jake the Snake Roberts. My WCW star would be Diamond Dallas Page. And my ECW star, this was the first one that came to mind that I think would mesh well with these guys, and that is Jerry Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
And then for my current star, Pete Dunne.
Okay.
Chat.
So when this just came to me, if we count it this way, my WWF legend would be Kurt Angle.
Okay.
My WCW star would be Bret Hart. My ECW star would be Chris Benoit. And my WWE star would be Daniel Bryan.
Man, you went a weird backwoods way to get these people in that match. Holy shit. Okay.
You think his is weird. Mine's going to be weirder. And keep in mind, I came up with this off the cuff. If I had a bit of time to think about this, I'd probably come up with something a little bit better. But current is Walter.
Okay.
Legend is The Undertaker.
Okay.
WCW is Arn Anderson.
Okay.
And ECW is Taz.
I had a feeling you were going to say Taz. The second you said ECW, I was like, he's going to say Taz.
I think Taz would work well with Arn Anderson and
Walter. You know what? I'm going to change mine. You know, now that you say Taz, I'm going to take out Jerry Lynn. I think that would mesh well with DDP and Jake. I'm going to replace Jerry Lynn with Raven.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm going to keep Pete Dunne, though. Just because I think that would add some brutality to it.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. Great question, by the way, Michael Bowling. If you listen this far into the podcast, I like your questions. Keep them up. Just 1 second here. Okay. All right, so that was our questions for the week. So that leads us into the vintage pick of the week, where we mention a match, a pay-per-view show, a segment, whatever we think that you should go watch. So Nick, hit us with your vintage pick of the week.
It was from, I think it was July 2005, JBL versus Blue Meanie on SmackDown. Stevie Richards hits JBL hard with a chair shot in retaliation for the sucker punch to the Blue Meanie for ECW One Night Stand. And I believe Stevie Richards even gets the "How'd you like your chair shot, JBL" in there. Maybe that was Meanie that said that. One of them says that, though. Like, it just kind of caught by the camera. How did you like your chair shot? And here's JBL, just a bloody mess.
Why the fuck is Blue Meanie sitting in first class?
Yes.
Have y'all ever heard that story?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have.
Dude, it's great. Look it up.
Yeah. Fair enough.
What the fuck is Blue Meanie sitting in first class? Mick Foley just walks past me like, oh no. No. Shelby, what's your vintage pick of the week?
So mine is from August 30th.
Match are we watching now?
August 31st, 1987.
Yep,
Primetime Wrestling. Paul Orndorff versus Nikolai Volkov.
You went with the theme this week.
I did, and I actually watched a bunch of Paul Orndorff matches tonight before we got on. I mentioned the Ron Simmons one and the Too Cold Scorpio one, and I watched one with him and Cowboy Bob at the Wrestling Classic. But this one I like the theme in it. I like the idea of Paul Orndorff as the babyface and Nikolai Volkov as the Russian heel. I mean, it was easy to make heels out of Russians in the 80s, so it only kind of made sense. But yeah,
well, any foreign country becomes a heel.
Any foreign, but like Russian at that time is easy, right?
Yeah.
And now, please rise for the singing of the Russian national.
The only thing that annoyed me with this match is right after the bell rings, fucking Nikolai hits Paul Orndorff with a pole, and the fucking ref does nothing about it. This should be a disqualification. I was like, what the fuck is that? and then Nikolai fucking has him up against the ropes, and the ref's trying to back him up and is counting him and shit. And I'm like, if you fucking just let him hit him over the head with a fucking pole, then he's not gonna let go when he's up against the ropes, you fucking moron.
All right, my vintage pick of the week. I recently got autographs of both of these guys here. So we all know that NXT Brooklyn, the unsung hero of that show, of course, is Sasha versus Bayley. Great match. But, a match that really sneaks under the radar and people don't really talk about it. It's a great fucking match, great opener. Gets a great pop from it, and that is Blake and Murphy defending the NXT Tag Team titles against the Vaudevillains. Simon Gotch and Aiden English.
Oh.
Great little match there. Not just because I'm a Vaudevillains mark, but great little match there. Has a little run-ins from...
Yep. I remember that one. That was
Blue Pants and Alexa Bliss there. Pre-main roster Alexa Bliss on top of all that. She would shortly go to the main roster after this because Blake and Murphy would cease to be after this. But yeah, great little opener match here for the first time, them being in Brooklyn and such like that. But yeah, this match doesn't get a lot of respect. It's a great little match there. Yeah, it turns out they only got the tag titles because they needed to get the tag titles to the Revival, and they didn't want to do Blake and Murphy versus the Revival. That's the only reason they got the titles. Yep. All right. So there it is right there. That's the bell. So we know what that means. That is the end of the three-way dance this week. But next week, we will be here to talk about Money in the Bank, which airs this Sunday. We will have two brand new Money in the Banks. Well, I don't know. Last year, we were supposed to have two brand new Money in the Banks, and they fucked us. So that's one thing I didn't like about last year. I sing a lot of praises of last year's Money in the Bank match. But that's one thing I didn't like is that, okay, Oscar got the title, but who's going to be Money in the Bank now? And they're just like, what now?
Yep. Sorry, what?
Yeah. No, who's going to have the Money in the Bank briefcase now? What? What briefcase? Like, fuck you, WWE. We will talk about Money in the Bank, and of course, we'll have all your favorites. The news, it came from eBay, Shelby's favorite game, the three-word dance, but he actually got one this week.
Hell yeah.
So, yep, until next time, for Shelby and for Shelby and Artis, I'm Nick. And, yeah. I had to talk this week. So, be breezy.